Hello, I am Gregory the Poor Typist, and welcome to another edition of Typewriter Club Live. Today, our topic is new uses for your typewriters. Um, have you recently, or are you planning on using your typewriters in a different way? We often think of letters, of course, being type pals. But are there other ways that you've thought of using your typewriters? So let's discuss that today. All right. And I will remind you that TypePals is and always will be free. So if you do enjoy exchanging letters or postcards, feel free to join us at typepals.com. All right. We have a few people joining us. That's always good to see. Yeah. So I know in the past I have um, once for I think it was Christmas. I I typed on a piece of aluminum foil, and I used that in creating a custom uh I think Christmas card for my wife. So and I think that was when I was first getting into typewriters, and she had a good chuckle at that I was typing on aluminum foil. So uh, Corbinian, how are you?
Hi, Happy New
Hello.
Year's,
Yes,
belatedly.
Happy New Year. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine again. I had the COVID the past few weeks, which is why
Oh,
I wasn't able to join, and yeah,
yeah.
and a few other things. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for asking. Oh,
Yeah.
there's a visitor.
Oh, yeah. That was little
So the
Jenny.
cone of shame is ancient history.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember.
Oh, that was a rough
Yeah,
time.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you look nice and warm and cozy.
Yes, yes. In Switzerland, it's a little cold at the moment. Winter has finally decided to arrive, and
Ah,
we are under energy management in Switzerland at the moment. So due to the shortages and everything, and I rent the apartment, and they removed the controls, so they centrally manage temperatures in all flats to save
oh,
energy. And as this is a low energy building, so it's very well isolated, it stays very warm. But the problem is I sit directly under the vent of the
oh,
central air, not air condition, but forced air throughout the flat.
yeah,
And it's a
yeah.
little cold. So
Oh,
not ideal for home office, but yeah, as I'll be
yeah,
starting a new job in next week in February, which is why I will not be in the home office for the foreseeable future. It's not a big deal, but now for today or this
I
evening, I
know.
have to get cozy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're feeling better, and congratulations on the new job.
thank you, thank
Yeah.
you. Looking
Um, eh,
forward to it. Mm.
yeah. Is there anything new typewriter wise with you?
Well, last time I said I bought three bank Underwood portable, standard portable, so the small machines, with a German keyboard, and this is it. And I started to clean it up, and then I got COVID, and then I didn't
Oh,
finish. So you can see
yeah.
the small uh,
Oh, yeah.
screws and stuff like that. I have them soldered on a magnetic mat. So
Yes.
just to keep them safe and not to lose anything, and to remember where. Well, I've had a few cleaned up now, so I do remember where the screws go. But it's still good to have it sorted and yeah, have them
Definitely.
on a tray. Yeah. So
Nice, nice. Very good.
so that's the only thing. I didn't buy anything else as I was sick. I bought a car, but that's not a typewriter. Yeah. So that's the only thing new from me.
Oh, okay.
Back on my
Okay.
feet.
Yes, yes. Well, it's so good to see you. Now, kind of the question for today is have you thought about using your typewriters in a different way other than like the obvious ways? Like, I don't know, maybe art
Mhm.
or doing a to-do list or crafts or anything like that?
Not really. I didn't think of it before. I didn't check the prompt for tonight. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
and well, but it's an interesting question. Wow. I
Yeah.
don't. Well, maybe type an email and scan it and send the email as a
No,
as a
that's
typewritten.
yes, I like that. I like that. Yeah, very good.
So completely stay offline and then just take a picture with your phone and send it
Yeah,
off, and then put away your phone again and just live with a
exactly.
typewriter
Yeah.
and do every communication written down. It's the only thing I
Yeah,
can think of at the
very
top of my
good.
head.
Yeah, yeah, I do like that. I do like that. Excellent. Yeah. Well, again, it's so good to see you, and thank you for being here.
Likewise. Yeah.
Excellent. Sean, how are you doing?
Good morning. Good. Happy Sunday.
Yes, happy Sunday. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Sunday. Get your type.
I'm gonna zoom in on you. What typewriter do you have today?
I've got a Smith Corona made in Canada Sterling 4
Oh, the
series.
stripes.
Yeah, 2 stripes, 1946.
Nice.
And yeah, I was just reflecting on, we don't see many made in Canada ones. I mean, there's probably more around, but they just don't get either posted or shown as much. Anyway, this is I don't name my typewriters generally, but this is Dr. Sterling.
Oh,
Dr. Sterling is a therapist. He helps you work through problems and issues that you might have and not understand. He's a very good listener. The only thing you've got to do is you just got to give it to him. And then what comes out on the other side when you read it is a bit, telling for your own mental health. You can look at it and sort of be surprised that that came from you, and it helps reflect it back on you. So he's a perfect therapist. This particular typewriter helped me through some rougher times about 4 or 5 years ago, and yeah, he's a good typewriter.
nice.
Yeah.
Now, one can assume by looking at this typewriter that you Canadians are a very proud people because you put "Made in Canada" right in on the front of the typewriter.
Yeah, it's yeah, I know, it's like it's got to be right there just underneath the lid, so you just remember this is a made in Canada typewriter. I think it even says that on the back there. I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah. That way
Oh,
you're
Canada
doubly
Limited.
sure that it's made in Canada.
Yeah, yeah, just so that there's no mistaking this being an American-made typewriter. Um,
Excellent.
the only thing it's got that's different than you'd find on a US is you've got a pound sign in addition to a dollar sign. So we sort of used both interchangeably before the war and after the war, and obviously it ended up dropping the pound sign more because it was the Canadian dollar. So yeah,
Ah,
it's but yeah,
okay.
it's a good typewriter.
Excellent, excellent. And have you thought of using it in a new or exciting way?
Yeah, to Corbinian's sort of comment, um, not beyond the usuals, everything written, right? Whether it's therapy or quick notes,
Yeah.
posting on Instagram, just sort of a comment versus writing it digitally in the actual online box. Yeah, cards, doing the Rolodex thing now, so I'm transferring all of my typewriter
Oh,
info over to the Rolodex. So then
nice.
and you can say, "Oh, Sean, what is that?" And I can go, "Oh, hold on, let me go to Corona here." Oh, yeah. So I'm going to use that to capture all the typewriters in my collection, as well as I'm going to get some different colored ones and do typefaces. So when we have discussion about Pica versus Elite and
Ah,
Congresses and Imperials and Bodonis and all the other scripts and cursives, then I can have a sort of a quick reference of typefaces there to look at, and then know what typewriters they come from. So a bit of a cross-referenced sort of system, but a little
yeah.
more user friendly. Yeah,
I like
What
that.
an
I like that.
awesome idea. I'm gonna steal that.
yeah.
That's an
Please
awesome
do.
idea.
All
I
of my
love it.
ideas are free, and they're shared with the intent that if they work for you, you enjoy it yourself and try it out. So yeah,
Excellent.
no. Other than that, typewriters. Using typewriters for typing, I've not been doing anything creatively. Like I know some people get into the awesome thing like typing on rose petals or leaves, and that's very neat when you see them. I mean, that's a a measure of paper that's going to disappear as soon as it rots and goes away, unless you sort of swish it into a book somewhere. But yeah, I'm not doing anything beyond it. I feel sort of boring now. So I'm just using my typewriter to type on old-fashioned pulp.
Yeah.
Oh well. But I did get, which I was just dying to show you last week,
Oh.
Gregory, is a lighter.
Oh. An Olympia lighter?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah. So little German 1000 Zunder Olympia lighter that, when you flick it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That is very cool.
Yeah. I was sort of in a little bit of a lighter kick here about a month or 2 months ago. And I was looking for certain old-fashioned lighters that were reasonable, and I just happened across a bunch of weird German lighters because the Germans did a really good job of coming up with weird stuff.
Yeah.
And as I was looking, I saw, oh God, that looks like the Olympia logo. And then I looked closer, and sure enough, it was. And I thought, oh my God, a vintage lighter with the Olympia logo on it. So got to have that.
Wow.
So that came over from Europe, and yeah.
Excellent. Now you just need a Smith Corona one.
Oh, I know. Well, the last Smith Corona Zippo went for like $280 US 7 months ago, and there hasn't been one since. So I've got every search known to man, and see me just talking about it here now, there are like 30 other people are gonna search for it too. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, it went for a ton of money, and no vintage collectible Zippos anyways go for $200, $300, $400, or $500 depending on how old the advertising is. And Smith Corona fits that mold. It's mid-century, it's 1950s, 1960s. So Zippo collectors absolutely go crazy for that stuff. So yeah, that's going to be a tough find. It'll probably be easier to find a cheap Smith Corona typewriter than it will a vintage Smith Corona lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, do you think they were giving these to people that perhaps just bought a really expensive typewriter, or do you think it was more for like employees of the company, that a little gift?
I think it was a bit of all of that. It was a marketing tool. Lighters were much cheaper and they gave them out a lot more. Like I've got a collection I'm a Canadian Pacific sort of travel guy, so I like travel lighters. So here's a Canadian Pacific Airlines lighter, with the route map on the back. And so these were cheap flat lighters made in Japan in the 50s and 60s, but under a ton of different names and brands. So they would probably give these things on the plane to you if you needed to light up your smoke while you're flying from Vancouver to Tokyo or wherever.
But only in business class, right?
I don't know if there was this real separation that much, at least in the 50s, but I think as they got into the 60s, you started seeing that. I think we think like, oh, that's a big deal to get a lighter. If you just ask for one, but I think it was very common back then that you just, hey, I need a lighter. Well, here you go. It's courtesy of you flying with us and customer service, which we just don't see anymore. So we think is a little weird. As far as the Smith Corona lighter goes, I've seen a number of them that say Smith Corona Corporation, SCM, as seen on TV, with that little as seen on TV logo, which indicates that, because SCM also owned Procter Silex and a lot of other appliance companies at the time. So I'm sure these things came with other appliances that SCM might have bought. So it might not have said typewriter specifically. Might have just had the SCM logo, and then you could have got it with a pot or a coffee pot or a appliance or something like that. So a blender. I don't care. I mean, as long as it doesn't say blender on it, and even if it does, I'll probably be okay with that. But
yeah. Excellent. I never even thought of looking for typewriter branded lighters. Although it sounds like you kind of stumbled upon it, right?
Well, I've collected old vintage lighters for years, in addition to the myriad of other crazy weird things that I collect. But I always collected military Zippos and military lighters from old military units, and have been doing that for a long, long, long time, far before I got into typewriters. And it just sort of, these things didn't always click with me, and I thought I'd go on, and CP is one of my things. So I thought, oh, I need to get the whole collection of CP lighters. And that's when I stumbled on the Olympia lighter. And then I went, oh my God. And then I started checking out the SCM lighters, found the last one for exorbitant amounts months before, and here we are.
Nice.
I should have been aware of it a while ago, and then I might have found one, but it might be too late now.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows?
Excellent. You always have interesting things to show us, so thank you for that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, I like weird stuff. I mean, I like the fact that Ted's just as weird as me, but weirder, and collects different things, so we never sort of overlap.
Yeah,
that's good. So we're all a very complimentary group of weirdos.
Yes,
and we're proud of it. Ted's like,
oh yeah,
he
definitely.
walks away to go get something. Yeah, so yeah.
You probably went to get something weird.
Yeah, I hope so, because I love seeing. Yeah, we feed each other. We feed each other all this weird stuff.
I know, right?
Like, I love staring at Corbinian's shelves. I wish Neil's office was more messy with neat stuff behind him, so I could stare at that. I wish Indra had more weird stuff behind him, so I could look. Then we could all stare at each other's backgrounds. And
yeah. I have over here. I have our old dog Agatha.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Agatha.
Oops, I spotlighted you. I didn't spotlight me.
Oh,
no. Man. There we go.
All right.
Yes, yeah. Little Agatha. Well, actually, Madeline is there too, but Madeline was black, so you can't really see her.
Oh yeah, and she's blocked out by the Type Pals logo.
That too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, excellent. It's very good to see you, Sean.
Yeah, you guys too. Hope everything's well. And
yes,
we were on Type and Talk last night. And
nice.
People care about Gregory so much that somebody was like, oh, was the thing on last week? No, it wasn't. Gregory had to cancel. And then everybody immediately jumps to, oh my God, I hope he's okay. Well, sometimes Gregory just has a life he needs to, do other stuff. So I'm sure he wasn't on the verge of death or anything. He just needed a night off.
Yeah, that was the case. I had other things going on, and it just didn't work out. So
that's okay. We're all human. Anyway,
excellent,
thank you.
Excellent. Yes. Neil, how are you doing?
Oh, I guess I'm already unmuted. I'm doing well.
That's good.
We'll see how this. You have noticed for the last, I don't know how many meetings, I'd come and go and then disappear. And it's because of my lousy internet connection. So they tell me it's a very long, boring story, but the short of it is that AT&T sent me a new modem. And this one is supposed to, and I have not, they could be telling me some totally BS story because I know nothing about this. So they're telling me that this modem is supposedly capable of, I didn't even know that there's different frequencies apparently that your modem searches on. And when you're in a crowded area, Key West is we all live close together because houses are close together. So
yeah,
when you turn it on, I see like a whole list of different Wi-Fis. And apparently this modem is supposed to be able to, I don't know, I can't explain it, but it's supposed to get you in a range of frequencies that are less used. Is the way I understood it, so if that makes any sense. And who knows, I probably won't even finish this next sentence and I'll get cut off again. But right now it seems to be working. So
yes.
Anyway.
Yeah, right now it's working beautifully.
I don't have anything to say regarding the topic of today, but there's a few things that I picked up. I think I mentioned before when we had the type bin down here that our local library has a book sale once a month. And I was able to pick up, I didn't get these all at the same time, and this is nothing new. You guys all seen this one before, but I was able to pick up this typing book, which is
Oh yeah.
kind of interesting. Kind of smelly too, got a little mold odor to it. And then Gregory, I don't remember what it was. This is a couple of weeks back. You had posted something about Snoop Dogg. And
Oh yes, yes.
that same day, it was when I was at the library sale, and I find the Snoop Dogg cookbook,
Oh
which, yeah, for what it's worth. But I had
yeah.
these are $1, these books. So, but I
Yeah.
did find I've got a couple other ones. This one's kind of neat. This is it's called New Vintage Type, and it's just all about different type phases used in advertising, and really some cool stuff in there. So
Nice.
that's interesting. And as far as typewriters, I haven't purchased a typewriter now, and it's been months, but now people are starting to give me typewriters. So yeah, it's kind of strange. But one of them, it's over there in a pile of other typewriters, which I won't show you because it's kind of messy, but it's a Casio writer. I haven't really played too much with it. It seems like it works. It's like in this hard plastic industrial case, almost like a military type case. So it's pretty well preserved. But the
Do you know
strangest, go ahead.
do you know what model it is?
Oh, let me grab it.
There's the CW10, the CW16, I think the CW, there might be a CW20.
Watch out behind you, Gregory. Watch out behind you.
A wild animal.
It's
That's
a
Jenny.
CW10 apparently.
Okay, okay.
So
that you will find it has a wonderful, wonderful keyboard, but it's actually one of the loudest thermal typewriters, and the print is a little lighter than some of the other thermal typewriters. But you know what? It's the keyboard is amazing on it.
yeah, it's got like a real keyboard. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So that was that one. And then I have a coworker who he works for the airline, and he American Airlines, and he travels a lot, and he loves to go to Brazil. He goes to Brazil like probably at least every couple of months. Has a lot of friends there. So he comes back this is about a month ago, and he says, "I've got something for you." So he brings this. He drugged this all the way back from Brazil.
Ooh.
Well, that's what I said. Ooh, because it's the ugliest color typewriter. Yeah, you can't really appreciate its ugliness, and that camera makes it look better than it is. But it's kind of like a dirty pumpkin color.
Oh.
Yeah, it's. I haven't even looked it up to find any information about it yet. But let's see.
Oh wow. Interesting. I've never seen that one before.
I said, "So how do you bring a typewriter back from Brazil?" And he said, "Well, I just put it in my suitcase." He doesn't have to pay for baggage fees and stuff, I guess. So,
Oh.
but I wasn't expecting that for sure. So, but there it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody knows any more about it than I do. I'll have to look it up. But
Yeah, Richard Polt has one. He likes it a lot. So
Oh.
really,
they're very strange colors, but he says they're pretty good machines.
huh? Well, never look a gift horse, right?
Yeah.
So interesting design. I guess it's probably 70s, somewhere in there. But
Yeah, that'd be late 60s, early 70s. That's
Okay.
around the time of the Valentine. Everyone was kind of trying out different plastic shapes.
yeah. Looks as though it has some Brazilian cat hair down in there too. So anyway, so wasn't expecting that one, but it came my way. So, and what else? I don't think there's a whole lot. I've got a lot of nice letters the last week. I'm getting behind right now, but hope to catch up. So That's about it from Key West. It looks like my internet connection is holding. So maybe what that guy told me about that frequency story. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's working at least for now. So it's all good.
It's been darn near perfect. So that's great.
Oh, that'll put the final jinx on it right there. You said that out
I know.
loud.
Sorry.
Yeah, not so anyway.
Yeah.
So well, that's all I have. So I'll let somebody else go. Thanks, Gregory, for doing this. We appreciate it.
Of course, and I'll be very curious to hear how you like well, both the Remington and the Casio Rider. So
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I'll report back next week, hopefully.
Excellent. Very good. All right. Intro, how are you doing? You're not making dinner yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Having a beer.
Oh, okay. So you're
No.
preparing for dinner.
Mentally.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see everybody again.
Yeah,
It's been a
good to
while.
see you.
Yeah. No new typewriters, but well, I got a new home in France.
Ooh, excellent. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm looking. I can show it to you.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Oh, wow.
Christoph's happy you got a new home in France.
Yeah, it's pretty far away from him. This is all the way in the south. So
Wow.
I'll show you another one, which also shows the surrounding.
Oh, my
Yeah.
goodness.
Indro,
You have no
how big is
neighbors?
it? How many rooms?
I got 1, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2 kitchens, and 1 living room. And
What
a
is
swimming
what's the rate for typewriter B&B pals?
pool. You have to bring a typewriter.
Oh, no problem.
Oh,
No
okay.
problem. I'll bring 4.
So no, I've been busy. I've been traveling to the south of France like twice a month to go to the to get everything arranged. So it took us a lot of time. You know, it takes 12 hours to drive up there, and so if you want to go for a meeting, whatever, it will take you at least 3 days. So we have to go. For now, it's a bit quiet. We have to go halfway March, and then we're moving. Sort of moving the 1st of April, and then we stay 4.5 months, and then we come back for the winter here because our youngest daughter has to go back to school, and then next year we're going. I think hopefully we could go for 6 months. So and that's going to be like 6 months there, 6 months here, and then every year for about 5 years or 10 years, whatever, depending. So we still have this house. I'm going to rent it out this summer. And then next year we will see.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow.
So I have to start packing soon. I guess we start packing within 1 week or 2 weeks, just to prepare everything. We have to, because I sold upstairs the apartment that we have and the attic. So we sold it. So I have to get everything empty. And the people who are renting it now are gonna rent it for 4 months downstairs. So that's
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I wasn't on the Typewriter that often, because I was away.
That's understandable, but we're glad to hear the good news that you got the house. So
yeah, it was very
definitely
tricky because we could only get that house if we would sell the apartment. So everything had to fall together, and it went within 4 weeks. So the whole deal was done in 4 weeks. So it was crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, no new typewriters though, but I guess they'll start coming soon.
Yeah. You have a lot more typewriter storage now.
Oh yeah, I have. But it's funny that this is also like, you see that we all do the same stuff. So we do typewriters. But I got these as well. You know, I got all these lighters. So, but these are all French lighters. These are all DuPont. So this is a silver one. This is a gold one. This is a gold one. So yeah.
Ooh, you're high class, Intro. Gold lighters.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gold. Platinum gold.
Nice.
This is a small one, but they're empty. now they're empty. I used this one like in my daily lighter. It's a really nice one.
Wow.
Here, it's like the DuPont.
You'd look so cool smoking a what is it, a Gaultier?
Yeah, this is a DuPont, the French one. I think this is Dunhill.
That's high class Dunhill lighters.
Yeah. So, but since I quit smoking, I don't use this one anymore. So for 7 months now, I don't smoke. Well, which is
Oh,
good,
wow.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah,
Definitely.
it's better.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
That way your typewriters won't smell like smoke.
Since we have children, I never smoked inside the house. Never,
That's
always
good.
outside.
That's
So,
good.
no, the reason, because it's my health, but I bought a Jeep Wrangler a few months ago, like 7 months ago. And I promised my wife that if we buy that car, I'll quit smoking to compensate for the fuel price.
Ah.
Well, it's 10 euros a day. It's 70 euros a week.
Yeah.
So, that's a lot of
Wow.
money.
Yeah, it is. Excellent. Well, again, again, I'm very excited for you about your new house and the things you have going on. So that's very good.
Yeah.
All right. So very good to see you. Do you know what you're going to make for dinner yet?
I think I'll make pumpkin soup.
Ooh, I'll be right over.
As long as it's not the
easy,
same color of Neil's typewriter.
I know.
Fine.
I guess it looked ugly pumpkin. It was.
That's funny. Excellent. Well, it's so good to see you, Andrew.
Yeah, it's good to see everybody again. So yeah.
Corbin, what were you showing there?
Yeah, Neil, Jean, sorry, made me think of that I actually received Underwood paraphernalia. So it's an advertisement for 3-bank Underwoods, which I'll try to show, but it's still very glossy. Well, I'll take it out. Giving wings to words. It's with the Pegasus, and I'm gonna take it out. It's an original advertisement cut out. And I'm gonna try, and
Oh, that's cool.
it's
Very
really
cool.
nice. And
Such great art in some of those old ads.
yeah, for those
Yeah.
old newspapers. So that's what I
Yeah.
wanted. I remembered, and I wanted to show it.
Very good. Very good.
Sorry for butting in.
No, not at all. Yeah, that was excellent. All right. Ted, how are you?
Oh, first I have a question for Corbin.
Yes.
That that thing on your back wall, is that the guardian beetles from the Dark Crystal?
No, actually, that isn't. But it's a beetle backpack. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay. Okay.
It opens and
It looks
yeah.
exactly
It
like
looks
the
very like it. Yeah, but it
guards
doesn't
from the
come
Dark
with
Crystal. Yeah.
with
It's
Wow.
So anyway, I was curious about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, just I was gonna show off some of my lighters, or what a lighter anyway.
All right,
cool.
Ted. Woo.
So,
A tiki lighter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
A tiki lighter.
it fits in with my interests. So
Yes, yes.
yeah, bottle opener to match.
Nice.
Anyway,
good.
You had a bunch of tiki mugs, didn't you, Ted?
I still do. I've got like at least 100.
Yeah. So the tiki lighter is
Wow.
a perfect fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I pick up a lot of Hawaiiana and tiki type stuff. I've been collecting that since the 80s. So
Oh, okay.
Right.
I was
which
just gonna
makes-
ask how long you've had this interest.
actually, I was picking up ceramic tiki mugs and ashtrays when I first discovered my first typewriter. So this is what
Ah,
led me to typewriters during my thrifting.
Wow.
I've recently gotten reinterested in it. So
Nice.
So Gregory, Ted, you've got a logo or a picture of you in a Hawaiian shirt. You got a lot of that on older logos or something with your fez on. So that's the indication of his tiki habit right there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
yeah, I have a
to
type.
ask, is there a Tiki mug database in the works?
There is actually, but it's not mine. It's someone else's. The whole Tiki movement it's gone in like 3 waves. There was one in the 80s, one in the early aughts, and now there's one happening right now that's like huge. If you do any kind of, I don't recommend this because you'll get stuck in a hole, but if you do any searches for Tiki bars or any cocktail hour, anything like that, you're going to come up with thousands of people who have made their own backyard Tiki bars, and they're mixing drinks there and collecting shirts and collecting mugs and stuff. So that's kind of where I've been lost for the past week.
Yeah.
Catching up with that stuff because I've been kind of out of the scene for a while.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
I was kind of sad because a lot of the like big I guess cathedrals of Tiki have been closing in the past year because of COVID or because of circumstances, like their buildings have fallen down or something like that. Like Oceanic Arts, who was the warehouse and decorators that decorated pretty much all the Tiki stuff since the 50s. They finally closed down because the owners got too old and they sold off all their stuff. And I missed that by 3 months. So I was a little sad about that. But they released a book, which was really nice. And now it's completely sold out, I think, within a few days.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know. That's just, I've been kind of catching up with that stuff. And enjoying that stuff lately. But and my notebook, been writing a lot. I've been posting a lot of blog posts.
Yeah.
Keeping myself busy.
Definitely. A moment ago, I saw you forming the pen loop.
Yeah, I was making a demonstration so I can take some pictures and write instructions.
Nice.
So that's how you make a pen loop in the thing. So you kind of loop it around and glue it. Use a straight edge to make that edge.
Yeah, I saw you doing that. I was like, oh, that's how he does it.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
Ted, are you going to reinforce
glue a loop, and then you have a place to put your pen. And then let's see. If I were to hook a notebook up to that. So these are the old covers that don't have extra bends and pockets and stuff. But anyway, what it does is it kind of tucks up next to the paper there.
Yeah.
So it kind of forms the front cover or the front guard over your paper. And that still fits right in your shirt pocket. So
nice.
That's kind of the idea.
Very
good. All compact.
Is that like a cardstock or?
It's kind of like 65-pound cardstock. It's kind of thin cardstock.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to be real thick.
No. Excellent. Yeah, I have seen that you've been very, very active on your blog, so that's exciting to see. I often find myself reading your blog at work, and so I'll start to comment, and then I get interrupted, and then I lose my train of thought and end up forgetting to complete my comment. But
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
gotta be quick.
I know. Yeah, very cool. And now maybe it's foolish to ask you this, but have you thought of using your typewriters in any new and exciting ways?
Well, I mean, on the tidy paper.
Yeah.
Spending all week testing out all my elite typeface typewriters to see if they have margins that go down small enough and have gripper rollers that are good enough
Oh,
to
yes.
hold on to
Yeah.
a sheet of paper all the way to the bottom. So a lot of
Yeah.
European typewriters are built that way, which is nice.
Oh, okay.
So you can use them. You can actually write all the way to the bottom of the line before it'll let go of the paper.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You don't get that the falling bottom line.
No.
Oh man, I think I had at least a couple blog posts that I got down to the very bottom and I didn't realize it, and the bottom line was sloping.
Well, that'll
Yeah.
happen. But,
Yeah,
you know.
it makes for an interesting typecast though.
Mhm.
And then I had that one. Something happened like when it was feeding through the scanner, and
Mhm.
it created this really weird, almost melted look to it. I don't know if that was on the old blog or the new one, because my old blog blew up. So
Your old blog
yeah,
blew up.
yeah, yeah. It was WordPress's fault.
Yeah, you shouldn't store too much acetylene, on your blog in the closet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Then it blows up, but not in the good way.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Anyway, that's it right there. That's the way the cover works. Folds over,
Nice.
and there's actually room in there. You can use these. I didn't realize it the other week, but I had. When I go to thrift stores, I buy just about all the fasteners that I can see. So I had a box of these that I didn't even know about, which are the same things, except they have like a sticky back, so you can attach them places and just use the prongs.
Oh,
And you can either use the attachment bar, or you can just leave them folded over. They're fine. So you can use these to create other places to store paper. Like in this one, I have typewriter paper here, drawing paper here, and then on the back I have 2 pockets and a place to store my actually used up sheets. So like when I finish writing a
wow.
sheet, I'll stick it in the back so for storage, so it's out of the way.
Wow.
When I get them done and scanned, then I put them in this book. So this is my past month of output right here.
Wow.
Just it's getting pretty thick now.
Yeah.
I'm not real sure I'll be able to put a whole year in one of these. I might have to do
Yeah.
one a month.
Of course, you could get the larger fasteners. They hold up to, I think, 3.5 inches.
Yeah, but still, if this is a month's worth, this is, at least 3/4 of an inch. So
That's true. Yeah.
With 3.5 inches worth of holding power, it'll be that thick, but it'll still only be like 4 months.
That's true. That's very true.
So that's what I've been doing lately.
Yeah, yeah. I love the look of those. That black one especially is really sharp looking.
That's just black cardboard stock, or not cardboard, but just cardstock.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty I thought the folds might be a problem, like it might come apart at the folds, but this paper is holding up really well.
Excellent.
So yep, that's my main one, the one that I actually carry.
Okay. Very nice. It's been a lot of fun seeing that the EDCN, the everyday carry notebook, sort of evolve and new things added to it, and you have multiple versions now. And
well, now there's just the one version. I put up the templates up on the blog. So
okay.
if you go, let's see, right there.
Yes.
Then
monk.org/typecast.
Yeah, you'll see the latest post has all the templates as full-size PNGs you can download and print out, and cut out, and fold, and punch, and do whatever.
Nice. So it's open source.
Yeah, you can make your own.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a useful thing. So
yeah. Very cool. I love it. It's such a great idea.
And I'm having fun, trying out different pens, deciding what pen I'm going to carry with my, it's been a
Yeah.
whole month worth of process of just trying things out, buying all the different refills for the one pen that I like.
Yeah.
Seeing what refill I'm going to put in the pen, and
Yeah. Have you made any progress on your, because I know you I don't know if it was recently, but you have the Parker Jotters.
Yeah, that's what these are.
Yeah.
This is a
Okay.
flighter. That's the all stainless steel one.
Okay.
And this one has a 0.5 inch gel tip on it.
Ooh.
In black. Nice. I can't get it in the camera. Maybe I'll put it on this one.
There we go.
Oh, it won't focus, but it's like this tiny little needle point thing.
Yeah.
That just like oozes ink. It's writes so smooth, especially on this paper. I've got this matte coated 70-pound paper that apparently you can't get anymore. I looked on eBay, and this kind of paper is going for like $125 a ream.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm kind of glad I got one from 20 years ago that I still use.
Wow. Excellent.
Yeah,
and of course,
size,
I think
I can cut up a ream into 4 different sheets at this size, so I can get 2,000 sheets out of that ream.
Yeah, that's true.
So that'll last me.
Yep. Yeah, I think last time you were talking about how the Parker Jotters have the date codes.
Oh yeah, they're like it's almost microscopic, but right here after the made in wherever, like this one's made in the UK, which tells you that it's between 2000 and 2010, before they started being made in France. And if I had a magnifying glass, yeah, you can see this one it's marked. Oh, what is it marked? I need a better magnifying glass.
It must be tiny, huh?
Absolute. Yeah, so this one is marked VIII. So it's 2006. Or YIII. So yeah, it's 2006, third quarter of 2006.
Okay.
Because it's the way the date code works is each year is a letter, 10 letters for each decade, and it's quality pen. So the Y would be the 6th letter or the 6th year of the decade. Wow. And because I know that this is between 2000 and 2010, then it's 2006.
Okay.
As opposed to, I do have another Parker, but it's a fountain pen that I dated to 1949, which I was pretty happy about.
Yeah.
Parker 51.
Yeah.
So I was really happy to find out that Parker pens have that kind of, you can date them down to that kind of provenance.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that tickles my fancy, just like typewriters.
Yeah. Very cool.
Whole reason I went nuts on typewriters because I could figure out that I could date them down to the year.
Yeah. Excellent.
Anytime I see that, I get really excited.
Well, it's kind of like you're learning a piece of its story, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, you're placing it in an era of history, and that kind of, when you know where that era of history is, it's really sparks the imagination. It sparks my imagination.
Yeah, definitely.
With typewriters, you can place it in that era and kind of pretend that you're in that era and feel like you're a part of that era. And it's all. I like being able to date things.
Yes. Excellent. All right. Well, anything else new with you, sir?
Oh, I don't know. Probably, but I can't think of it right now.
It's okay. You can blog about it.
Yeah, I'll do that. I've got plenty of
There you go. There you go.
I got 2 posts just sitting in the wings waiting to go.
Oh, cool.
Go, and
Excellent.
that was
All
my
right. Well,
mail
so
call
good to see.
tonight. So I haven't
Yeah.
got any mail in 3 days. I'm so sad.
Really? Oh my goodness.
Well, my wife does, so but she doesn't
Okay.
write me mail.
Oh, I think your video froze. Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah, he froze. All right. Well, thank you very much for sharing, Ted, and hopefully your camera catches back up. Let's see here. Roger, how are you doing?
I'm okay. Not much typewriter news. I used one to write one of the Typels postcard exchange. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And I forgot to tell you last couple of weeks, I think I won at the typewriter contest on social media.
Oh, wow.
So Amsterdam Typewriter is going to give me what you call it, gift certificate or something for something from their web shop. So I'll probably use that for what you call it, feet, new rubber feet for my typewriter.
Nice. So tell us more about this competition. Was it just like a drawing, or did you have to do something?
No, I just answer something or so, or
Oh,
make
okay.
a comment and share.
Okay. Excellent. Well,
And
congratulations.
add a friend. So I believe I got Sean to fill in that position
Oh, nice.
because it was on Instagram. That's one of the only ones I
yeah.
know who's on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm on there, but I'm not very active. But I know Sean is very active on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Posting all kind of goodies.
Yes.
Makes us
Yes.
jealous to see all that
Yeah.
stuff, like with
It does.
lighters and all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was fun. It was over the
Excellent.
holidays, so
Yeah.
good start of the year.
Very good. Very good. Excellent.
And
Sorry,
for
Roger, mag ik even vragen, waar was dat in Amsterdam?
Amsterdam Typewriter,
Is dat online of is het een winkel in de stad zelf?
alle twee. Maar het is niet Amsterdam zelf.
Oké. Oh, oké. Ik ken het niet.
Nee, wacht, hè. Ik kan eventjes zoeken. amsterdamtypewriter.com. Contact. Hilversum.
Yeah, sorry, I'm talking Dutch because it's only 1 hour away from here. So I was thinking,
okay.
it's a store in Amsterdam or whatever. I will go there.
Yeah.
Workshop is by appointment only. Vaartweg 165B Hilversum.
In Hilversum. Dat is nog dichterbij. Oké.
Oh,
dank u wel.
Dat is goed. Heel gevaarlijk.
Ja, zeker. Sorry for that.
No
problem.
I love that actually.
If
Yes,
you type amsterdamtypewriter.com, you get their webpage.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Excellent.
So I hope to get there by summer. It's too far away from me, but Indro is always passing probably when he's going from Holland, the Netherlands to France, because I'm in Antwerp.
No, I'm close to you. It's only 1 hour away from Antwerp. So lately I'm going through Lyon. So but normally I would go past Antwerp and then Paris.
Yeah. And route to Lyon, you go over Brussels or further south.
Maastricht, Luik.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, you'll have to let us know what you end up getting, whether it's feet or whatever.
Yeah, I'll do that.
How that works out. Yeah.
In a couple of months. So
Oh, okay. Okay. Excellent.
Didn't pick up the typewriter yet, the Corona 3,
Oh.
so no news on that.
Okay. I was wondering. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being
Well-
here, Roger.
Well, actually, can I talk
yeah.
to Indro off topic for a moment?
Of course, go for it.
Indro, heb je al eens iets gekocht op Marktplaats?
Ja, heel veel. Eigenlijk bijna
Oh.
alles.
Goed, ik heb een probleem. Ik krijg de betaling als Belg niet gedaan. Via
Oh, de betaling
Ideal.
via Ideal niet?
Nee. Weet jij hoe dat zou kunnen werken? Kan je dat doen met een QR-code?
Nou ja, omdat we nu een IBAN-nummer hebben, wat je gewoon kan gebruiken.
Ja,
ook
maar de persoon wil zijn bankgegevens niet vrijgeven.
Ah, jij niet?
Hij
Oh, die
niet.
persoon?
Ja.
En waar is het?
Eventjes kijken. Maar het is
Als het,
geen typewriter. Het is gereedschap.
is het in Nederland?
Ja.
Oké, als het bij mij in de buurt is, kan ik het voor je doen. Kan ik het ophalen en eventueel ook wel afrekenen. En dan verrekenen wij het wel, of wat dan ook.
Berichten.
Stuur mij anders gewoon een chatbericht.
Oké, dat kan ik doen. Hoe werkt dat hier? Gewoon via
daaronder
chat.
gaan.
Ja.
En dan kun je
Oké.
kiezen bij de persoon, kun je gewoon kiezen mij. Hij staat standaard op iedereen, dus hou er in de gaten. Anders dan, maar ja, goed, die kan het toch niet lezen, dat maakt niet uit. Maar
Dat is waar.
stuur maar gewoon naar mij en dan komt het wel goed.
Oké, dank je. Oké, thanks, Gregory.
Of course, of course. I just love how international we are.
To you, it must sound just like a lot of
yeah, a lot of clearing of the throat. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm always fascinated when we have these people all over the world, and yet they can speak to each other in common languages that I don't understand.
Oh, Dutch is like a German language.
Yeah.
I think English is too. But yeah, for us, I think Spanish and Italian it's not that difficult. I speak French, German, and English and Dutch. So I think the only like European language that's really, really hard is like Hungarian, which is non-German. I think Hungarian is close to
They're Slavic languages.
No, it's not. It's not a Slavic.
Oh no?
No.
It's unique. It's unique.
Yeah.
I think so.
It's Norwegian as well.
Yeah,
Hungarian.
Icelandic is difficult.
Yeah.
It's Icelandic and Hungarian are close together, but not the Swedish, Norway, Danish. It's easy. It's not very difficult.
Yeah.
But Dutch
and
is.
In Austria, in Austria where I grew up, there's an old German local dialect that is pretty close to Dutch. So I did understand you both, and I studied in the Netherlands as well. So but I can't speak it.
Okay.
So it's really cool.
Or afraid of?
No,
you can't speak it, or you're afraid of speaking it.
I used to be able to hold a conversation, but that was about 10 years ago. So no longer.
Yeah, but then you are in Austria, right?
I was born in Austria and I grew up there, but I moved to Switzerland, so the next Alpine country, but different dialects. And
okay. So, but do you speak French or?
No, unfortunately not. Just English,
okay.
German.
Okay.
Yeah, and a little Spanish now.
Excellent. Yeah, that's very, very interesting to hear. I've been meaning to, because it's been several months. I once did a count on typepals.com to find out how many different countries were represented by our members, and I don't remember what it was back then. It was quite a few, but I think it's even more now. Especially recently, I think Joe recently mentioned TypePals in one of his videos, and it created a little surge of new members, so that was interesting. We're up to 208 official members. There's some that, for whatever reason, they don't have their profiles active. So like on my end, I see 200, I think 18. But public profiles, there's, I believe, 208. So, but that's the highest it's ever been. So that's great, and I have Joe to thank for that. So, and there he is.
Hey,
Thanks,
everybody.
Joe.
Hi. I decided I
if you-
needed to sit out here in the courtyard.
Yeah. I don't know if you just heard what I was saying, but Typewriter's got a sudden surge of new members from your mention in your recent video.
Oh,
So
wow.
thank you for that.
Sure. Well, yeah, I just happened to mention it, and you never know what happens when you mention
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I think there were like 5 or 6 new members in one day, and I was like, what happened?
Well, I guess I just spur of the moment toward the end of the video, I just mentioned, anyways, I mentioned something about, the writing assignments or not writing assignments, the letter exchanges,
Letter exchanges, yes.
I think that was what. So that must be a sign that there's a latent interest in people wanting to type letters and stuff. So I think that's a good sign. So
yeah, definitely.
hope you don't mind me smoking a cigar online.
Not at all.
Cause you to get demonetized on YouTube or whatever,
No.
Not politically correct,
Well, and earlier we had Lighter Club Live.
You did.
It started with Sean showing his typewriter branded lighters. So
this is just like a torch, one of these cigar torches, but it puts out a pretty impressive flame in the dark. If you turn it all the way up, it's actually hurt yourself if you not careful.
Yeah.
Well, I just finished cleaning the kitchen floor, and so I decided, okay, I'm going to go out here, and it's not bad if you're in the sun, but it's a little chilly in the shade. So I'm kind of under the shade of the umbrella right now, so it's a little bit chilly. Not like northern Michigan chilly, but
yeah,
not room temperature.
Exactly. Excellent.
So what is the theme for today, or the topic? I haven't really checked.
New uses for typewriters.
Oh, hey, I might have to make some notes. And by the way, I haven't made a video about this yet. Everybody knows about Ted Monk's everyday carry notebook that he's been working on, right?
Yes.
Well, I've made several versions of that, but I'm also working on another idea that I'm really interested in, which is I'm interested in really flat notebook without a binding system at all. And so what this is a corner of one of these plastic portfolio things that you get at the thrift store or office store. Okay, so I have it cut so you have an opening on the right side and the top side, right? And then there's a stiff piece of, it's like a mat board, a stiff mat board stiffener, and you have pieces of paper that you've drawn on or written on in the back of that. And then you have pieces of paper, fresh paper on the front of that divider, and you can put other dividers in it. But here is the really cool part of this whole thing, which I'm rather proud of. Okay, watch this and listen. Oops, listen to this. You put this here and see that? It's magnetic. It uses 4 rare earth magnets, and it's taped in there with gaffer's tape. So it becomes like a clipboard. You can hold it in your hand and you can write with it, right? And then the best thing about it is because it's this plastic material that when you're in the heat of the sun and the summertime temperatures, and if you happen to carry it in your back pocket or wherever you carry it on your person, it's a little bit moisture resistant if you're perspiring or whatever, right? And it kind of holds all the papers, but there's no binding system at all other than just being held in here, which I kind of like the freedom of that. And then I did punch these for the prong binders for archiving. But anyways, that's my newest notebook, everyday carry, and it's working really well because you don't have to take the thing apart to put new pages in. You just kind of, slip them in there. So anyways, Well, that's a little preview of some upcoming video, I guess. Everybody gets to see the preview ideas here.
We love that. Yes, we feel special.
So you were going to ask me something earlier, and I just interrupted you with that little thing. But I think you were going to ask me something, anyways. If not,
yeah, I don't think so. But
okay.
Since we are talking to you, was there anything new typewriter wise, or?
Oh, let's see. I went to a indoor flea market style thrift store, and I've seen this. It's an Underwood 5, I think. And I don't have my phone on me. Okay, so they're asking $349. Okay, so it's way too expensive, I think, unless it was totally reconditioned by a professional. That would be a decent price. But it's in super good shape. There's like all the gold decals are there. The chrome trim it looks perfect, right? But anyways, I guess this is the opposite of your question. There's no room in my house for a standard typewriter because I don't have any more table space that you can store them. And then they had a $20 Brother Type R electric, which was interesting. It was very intriguing, but I need another Type R electric. Like I need a hole in my head, which right I mean, if I knew somebody that was in the market for one, like I'm looking for an electric typewriter for my kid or whatever, then I would get it. And, but it was one of these later models where they built it for the white correction strip on the bottom of the ribbon. So it actually has a correction button that you're supposed to press. And it does have that ribbon in it still. And you can see all the white crud all over inside the machine. Very similar to my Olympia Reporter, which also was built for that system. And that took a lot of cleaning to get cleaned up. But anyways, so other than that, not really. Typewriter wise, I'm just trying to do more typing every day. And some days I do 2 or 3 pages in my typewritten diary or journal. Typewritten journal for me is really just, I want to type something and I type it, and then it's not really suitable for putting on a blog or whatever. So I just put it in a 3-ring binder, and and I was going through my past 3-ring binders for some recent video. And, when you get a binder that's 3 inches thick, full of paper that you've typed on, you realize, man, I've done a lot of typing in then like a 2 or 3 year period, whatever that represents. I have these binders that are just by date, from like May of 2018 to May of 2021 or something like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then you go through those. So what I was looking for the first instance of when I got the Olympia Reporter. And I finally found the test typing. I was over at my friend Kevin's, and so it was like November of 2020, I think, something like that, maybe 2021. Anyway, so it's kind of fun to have all those typewritten sheets saved up, and especially you always have to. I recommend this. You should write the name of the typewriter or the kind of typewriter, because that becomes data down the road.
Yeah.
For when did I first get that typewriter? When did I first use it? So. And some of those earlier typings, I didn't really think about that as much. So I had to kind of figure out, look at the typeface, and okay, that looks like that one. And, so.
Yeah, I've definitely been guilty of that because I have all these random scraps of paper with typing on them. Yeah. And it's just the quick brown fox. And it's like, okay, well, what typewriter was that?
So I wrote up a 1-pager about the quick brown fox, and I put it on one type page last week. And I think I offended somebody on there from that. Because I was like editing that thing before I posted it, and I realized that the quick brown fox, somebody might think I'm talking about people with brown skin. So I took the word brown out of a lot of it, but I think I offended somebody. It was just a little riff on the nature of the fox and the dog, like the fox is, going into the hen house, and the dog is lazy, sitting on the porch, not doing anything, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyways, anytime I see the quick brown fox, I'm always thinking about that. And I often riff on variations of the quick brown fox, like the sly fox jumps over the lazy damn dog that won't get up off the porch. It just sits there all day. Good for nothing dog, you know. So
Yeah.
I guess all that to say, nothing really going on except it's, you know, I'm enjoying these last few weeks, and a lot of projects going on in terms of creative stuff. And one of the uses I have for this notebook system is spur of the moment ideas for videos. I can write them down and not lose them. Sometimes it's in the middle of the night. I have to,
Yeah.
you know, document them before they go away. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Excellent.
that's about it for me, I guess.
Okay. Well, it's so good to see you, Joe.
Great to see you too.
All right. Susan, you have a large typewriter there.
Yes, I do. I bought this typewriter on the way home from the Austin type-in,
Okay, yeah.
and it's a Hermes Ambassador. And it couldn't
It's a
be any
diplomat.
bigger. Its name is Andre, for Andre the Giant, the wrestler.
There you go. I like that.
And he is, I just love it. There's a lot of great things about this particular one. He's from 1964. And he has carbon spools as well as regular ribbon.
Oh, wow.
And so that's pretty cool. I don't have anything like that in my collection.
Yeah.
And he also has a Techno Pica typeface, and I don't have that in my collection of Hermes. So I just couldn't resist him because he was in Denton, Texas, which is about, probably 45 minutes north of where I live. So we had to kind of go the long way home to pick him up. But I went to the type-in, which was awesome, by the way. And I asked around if anybody had any experience with the ambassadors. And of course, somebody did. And we looked at the pictures, and he told me, you probably should get it. Apparently, there's not only about 2,000 ambassadors were manufactured each year in the 60s or thereabouts. But on the typewriter database, there's only 2 from 1964. So mine will be the 3rd. So there's not very many on the database, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It has the paper ejector, just like my SG1. It has a 10-inch tall paper support.
Wow.
So it's got a huge paper support. It has like magic margins, like the Royal kind of. It has the largest backspace and tab keys I've ever seen in my life. Which Daniel suggested maybe it's so you can use your pinky to get them to work, but I don't know that that would work. It has a couple of issues still, so it's got to go get serviced, but it has a broken color selector button, which I hear is pretty common. And I'm missing the cover for the carbon ribbon take-up spool. So I've contacted the Jacques Perrier in Switzerland, and he has the color selector switch, and he's looking for me for the cover for the carbon ribbon, because one of the people that I met at the type-in says he has cases of carbon ribbon available. So
oh, wow.
you'll be able to sell me some.
Yeah.
When I got it, it was really dirty, and so I've been cleaning it up as best I could, and now it types fine. I've been able to type letters on it and everything. But, oh, the other thing I love is it has these little, I don't know where I'm pointing. Okay, these little things are right here. These are little switches that allow you to open up where your card guide is so that you can clean back here.
Oh, wow.
Or you can adjust for the thickness of your paper, which I think is really cool.
Yeah,
And I've never seen that before. So I love that.
definitely not.
I about died because when I first get a typewriter, I always first try to get an owner's manual for it. And usually you can get that from Richard Polt's Xavier website, you know. But I usually just type into Google the name of the typewriter and put at the end manual. And what came up first was a blog post from Ted from 2011, where he puts the manual on his blog post. And in that manual, they caution you not to take it apart.
Oh,
Because they say it's a precision instrument and you might mess it up. So I went down and I read the comments in the blog post, and the first comment was from Richard Polt himself. And he said, I wish I had had this manual before I took the platen out and totally destroyed my typewriter.
oh no.
And then it turns out that a few years later, recently, he gave that typewriter to someone who got parts to fix it. But the
Oh, wow.
platen is very easy to remove. In fact, I've removed this one. It's the easiest ever. You just, I don't know if you can see, but you pull out this right here and this right here and lift this up, and it's just going to come right out. This just pulls right out. These control little like spear things that go into the ends of the platen, which is hilarious.
Yeah, like little pins.
Yeah, like little pins
Okay.
that go into the end of the platen, and the platen just
Yeah.
lifts right out, and then you can clean it. You can get down there and see the feed rollers and all of that. So it's pretty amazing.
Wow.
Move your card holders back. Okay, you're doing it. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. I probably don't have it right, but ta-da!
Wow.
So Susan, is your Selectric wand going to be jealous now?
No, because I got a new type ball actually for my Selectric one recently, and it's a
course.
gorgeous one. I got the calligraphy,
Ooh.
and I would tell you that if you can find that one, it is beauteous. So
I have it.
I love all of my
Yeah.
typewriters.
Sure.
My typewriter repairman, when I called him and told him I got this one, he said, Susan, how much did they pay you to take it? And I said, Darwin, that's not funny.
Yeah.
And he started laughing. He said, the SG1 is actually mechanically a much better typewriter. I said, okay, but you know that I love Hermes.
Yeah.
And how could I resist? This was local. I didn't have to ship it.
It was perfect.
I mean, how could I resist it?
Yeah.
All good reasons.
I mean,
Yep.
So there's a place, I think, for both of them. It definitely has the same key top feel as a Hermes. And, the SG1 has the springs on the key top. So, I mean, it does have a different feel than the SG1, but it moves so smoothly. The carriage moves super smoothly. The best description I had, Garen Hot Rod Typewriters commented to me. He said, it's just like a big Barca lounger. It's very comfortable to type on, and you'll just want to type on it for hours. And I've been cleaning it up all week, just trying to get it so it would work, so I could see what worked and what didn't work, so that when I take it to Darwin, he'll, not that he won't check everything himself, he will, but I like to tell him what I've discovered. And really, it's in great shape. It's amazing to me that this thing was sitting in a garage, and before that in an attic with no dust cover for I don't know how long. And I brought it home and I can get it to work.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
it's almost 60 years old, for heaven's sake.
Yeah.
So Susan, I think you need to bring it to a coffee shop when you get it finished.
Well, there was a bunch of chatter about my typing. You know, people can't wait for me to bring it to the typing. And one person said, it's really heavy. I doubt you're going to be able to bring it. And I'm like, yes, I can.
Yeah.
Not only can I, but now I'm definitely going to bring it.
See, we can outdo the hipsters. We can bring really huge machines.
That's right. But I just had to stop and get it. I also wanted to take a minute to talk about Joe's blog about the envelope addressing. So obviously I learned a lot of things that I didn't know, even though Daniel tried to tell us a couple weeks ago, like, you know, use pica or pica typeface, use dark black or blue ink, use only capital letters. Well, I have this postcard that I found at a sale. It's a beautiful postcard of Texas bluebonnets. It was written in 1938. And in 1938 in Texas, you could apparently write a postcard just addressed to Mrs. Minnie Francis, care of Mrs. Lee Brown, Nacogdoches, Texas, and it will get to you.
Yeah.
Wow.
You didn't need to put an address. You
That's
didn't
right.
have to. You obviously back in 1938, we didn't have zip codes. You didn't, and it was handwritten in terrible handwriting. My husband couldn't even read this, but somehow it managed to get there in July of 1938.
Well, you know, when I made that video, I also realized, and I didn't really say it, but I realized that all these rules for the proper way to address an envelope are kind of guidelines, and it depends on the individual postmaster and the individual delivery guy or the people sorting, because most of us violate those rules every day, and we get our mail fine, you know. And the other thing is, if you're using the zip +4 code, those are the extra 4 digits, you don't even have to specify the city or state. Just name of the person, street number, and the zip +4, because that defines a small area.
Oh, wow.
That's true.
You know, like my zip code is 87111. So that's already a part of Albuquerque. And then you add on the 4224, whatever it is, it's my little neighborhood. So you don't even need to specify city or state if you're using zip +4.
Yeah.
But it is funny though, Susan, that in the old postal system, you know, they knew who their people were, right? The local communities knew everybody.
Yeah, I mean, well, of course, the towns were a lot smaller. Nacogdoches is considered a medium-sized town, I guess, now in Texas, but you know, still that back in 1938 probably wasn't very many people, but just fascinating to me that you could do that.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Susan. Sorry.
I was just yesterday I was getting my postcard for my postcard exchange selection, and I came across this and I said, oh my goodness, there's not even a street address. Go ahead.
So I just got out here on the patio and I haven't brought out a typewriter yet. So I'm going to give everybody an opportunity to vote for which typewriter I bring out to the patio to use right now. So what do you think? What do you think, Gregory? What should I bring out?
The Roy.
The Roy? No.
So you can't say no. If we vote, we choose.
I guess I could bring it out. I just don't have to use it.
Royal 10.
Yeah.
I say the Olympia Splendid.
Yes,
Ooh.
that is a good choice. That is a very good choice. Okay.
Your
I like
Royal 10, Joe.
The Royal 10? You know, I don't have the Royal 10. That's actually Tara, the local gal in our typewriter group has it these days.
Oh, this is your aunt's typewriter?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I got the KMM, right? And then I decided I don't have room for all these standard typewriters. So
Oh, I didn't realize you'd gotten rid of that one.
yeah, well, it's in the local community and I know where it's at. It's like you know, but yes, and also the KMM type better, you know, so it was kind of a good choice, a good reason. But yeah, I could bring the Splendid 33 out here. I'll do that. So I'll mute myself.
I vote for I vote if you have two hands, you can bring the colibri out, because
okay, I'll do that too.
I have something related to colibri to show.
Okay, I'll bring my colibri and I'll bring the Splendid.
I thought we were voting here. I'm voting Smith Corona. We're gonna make this really complex for Joe.
Smith Corona, Sean?
The silent super.
The silent super? Okay. I can do that too.
We got
That's
one
a lot
vote
of
for each. We
typewriters.
gotta
Looks
get
like
more
you
now.
have 10 typewriters out.
I know. I'm going to have to move my laptop here a little bit. And luckily, I have a lock on my courtyard gate. So I can just lock it and leave the stuff out here when I go inside.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be back in a few minutes here. 3
All
typewriters.
right.
Sheesh.
I'm just
And-
joking. Don't bring 30 typewriters out. Bring whatever
Yeah.
you feel comfortable with.
Well, you know, I'll do it if you tempt me enough.
With
Yeah.
that rubber arm.
Yeah.
Hey, Suzanne,
Then I wanted to share that I also have something that different to do with your typewriter.
oh yeah.
Oh.
And it's typewriter mystery games.
Ooh.
And not too long ago, I found a set of 11
Oh my goodness.
typewriter mystery game booklets as early as in the 1950s and as late as in the 1970s, because I went to an estate sale that was the home of a former typing teacher.
Ah.
Oh, wow. I got so much great stuff. But the typewriter mystery games, it tells you the lines and what to type,
Oh, okay.
gives you instructions. And then at the end, you've drawn a picture. So my husband and I have actually sat down at the kitchen table, each with a typewriter and a typewriter mystery game booklet, and done one to test it out.
Wow, that's cool.
So isn't that cool?
Susan,
Yeah.
those other things you picked up at that sale, I don't know if they weren't poster size, but they look like the smaller posters. Those were a hoot. I really love those.
Oh, they are great. I'll show that to you because Ted got on to me.
With all these real
Said
cool
I wasn't-
sayings.
He said I wasn't sharing correctly for the day that we had sharing, but they're about about 8.5 by 11 size, but they're things that she had pinned up on the wall. So more tap, less yap.
God bless you.
And then we have the clock watcher,
Ugh.
watching the clock instead of paying attention to what she's doing. Then we have the one that's on my Facebook page right now as my profile is Don't Be a Glamour Girl. Don't be tardy, Tess. Don't be a punchy Paul.
Oh.
All
Oh, that's
fighters
good.
know him well. He never bothers to listen, so he punches after the bell rings. So he's just trying to go past the margin.
Oh.
Don't be the gum chewer and get gum all over your typewriter. Don't be this is another one of my favorites, a push and Polly with eyes on copy, toss it quick. And then there's another one that I love. Here's another guy one. Don't be a peeping Tom.
I love that one. That's my favorite, I think.
Oh man.
Don't tear it. Use the paper roller, for gosh sakes. Don't be a dreamy Dora. This one's named after me. Don't be a slap 'em down Sue.
What's it say underneath there?
With wrists up high, arms waving free, she hears the call to action and battles every key.
Oh.
Wow.
And then there's do be tidy, clean up your workspace, for gosh sakes. So those were cute. I also got some larger posters that were of the history of typewriters,
Oh.
which I'm going to be bringing to type-ins and displaying at type-ins. These don't have any kind of date on them. They were materials for classrooms and they don't have any kind of date or copyright information. So a lot of people were wanting me to scan them and make copies and sell them, but I don't know if
you should.
I don't know if I even can. I don't know what the copyright laws are. But It was so fun because the people that had run the sale, they didn't even know that this lady was in fact a typing teacher. And I didn't know either until I started finding all these typing things all over the place. There were typewriters, they were too expensive and they were in bad shape. So I did not buy any there, but I did buy all this great paraphernalia, which, you know, I love as much as the other stuff.
Yeah.
And then last Saturday, like I said, we had the we went to Type in Austin, and I met Ken, and I'm going to let Ken talk about the Type in. So, and Bob Marshall was there.
Nice.
And that was a lot of fun because I've never met him in person before. So that was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of great typewriters, and it was mostly people who collected and their family members, which is fine. But we had a great time, and it was a great venue. And so now I'm getting ready to plan my next one, which will probably be in April. And that's it for me.
Excellent. Very, very cool. And I hope you do scan those. Chances are they're still protected by copyright because I assume they're from the 50s or 60s, maybe earlier, but still public domain is like, what, 1927 or something like that?
Oh, okay, so I'm sure these are not public domain, but they are definitely cute and different. And so I was just stunned to find they're just in a big bin out on our patio. They had big bins of all kinds of different things. And I found all of these, and I about took my breath, just went, oh, I go, oh my gosh, what is that? So I start looking at it, and it says on them typing do's and duds, which I just love. And it is just, to me, they are hilarious and of their time. You know, I had some people comment that they thought it was terrible that there was so many don'ts and so many women were portrayed with the typewriters. And I'm like, well, did you go to typing class? Because I think most of the time it was mostly women. At least it was by the time we got to the 70s.
Even the 80s. Even the 80s.
So, you know, I don't know. I'm just saying. But yeah.
That's why I took typing class.
I got all of these. I mean, it's amazing. I got all of these posters and all these typewriter books and a bunch of other little things that like Royal Typewriter had sent to the classroom for her to hand out handouts about their latest typewriters and stuff. I got a whole stack of stuff and I paid less than $10, you know?
Wow.
Because they didn't know what it was.
Exactly.
And so it was awesome. I was so happy. And I got this ambassador at a very good price. I thought, like I said, it wasn't free, but it wasn't expensive. It certainly was reasonable. And I know I'm going to love it. So I love it already. So
yeah. Very good.
So now you've met him, Andre. Yep. Andre the ambassador.
Very good. Excellent. Thank you for sharing all that. That's some
sure. I know it was a
stuff.
lot. So go on to the next person.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Susan.
Oh, I love it. I miss it when I don't get to come, or if we don't have it. So I'm so glad we had it today, so I could show it off.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. Ken, I know originally you weren't planning on really talking, but I think she called you out about the type-in. Did you want to talk about that?
Yeah. I will always accommodate Susan. She's great with all the typewriting community. I covered a little of this last night, so Sean, I apologize for going over the same thing, but the Voss, they had a Voss there for sale, which didn't sell. And from what I understand from Caesar, who lives down the road in San Antonio, had a wealth of knowledge for the hour we commuted to Austin. The guy is just amazing at what he knows in typewriting and being so young. It's just amazing. But he said, yeah, don't get that Voss because they're a nightmare to work on. I was like, well, and I guess I'm not the only one who he's not the only one who had that information. But as long as they work, it's great. And there's probably people who know how to work on them. But that was fun. Smith Corona series. Well, so yeah, I visited Susan's green desk or green collection, her her Hermes green area. You could see it from afar in that whole
was it glowing?
Little green island of like Ireland or something. But yeah, that was fun. And there was where Caesar was like, well, we're in Austin. Can we stop at some thrift shops? Can we go? Well, we found a Hammond for a little over $500. It was not it would have taken a lot of work. And then he saw the Smith Corona, I think it's a Smith Corona 4. And he goes, his eyes lit up because they had like 5 or 6 reels there too, ribbon spools. And the guy says, $250. I'm thinking, this is just like Canada as far as Smith Coronas. They're pretty rare, I guess. From Austin is just not I like the word is out, especially the black typewriters because of Wednesday Adams.
Yeah.
Black typewriters are premium now up there in Austin. But yeah, it was a blast. Yeah, Susan can talk more about it. She was more into the mix. I was but I mean it was nice to see all the different typefaces, all the different all the experience there. And that I guess the highlight was seeing Caesar and Bob, the typewriter muse.
Yeah.
And they finally just left the building, and you saw them out there at the picnic table talking shop. I think they just didn't wanted to speak their typewriter mechanics language. So that was a blast seeing that one generation to the next generation. Hopefully it'll continue. But
yeah, excellent.
Yeah, that was it. That was a great weekend. My first one. So
very cool. Very cool. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Bob is having breakfast right now with Brian Good. I forgot Brian Good was coming to the area, because otherwise I probably would have canceled this meeting instead of last week. But yeah, so I'm missing out on seeing Brian Good, but hopefully he'll come out again. So yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Ken. It's good to see you. Let's see, Daniel, how are you doing?
Well, I'm doing very well. Thank you.
Excellent.
I for Susan, she showed a postcard. Susan, first of all, I got your letter. Thank you very much. It was typed on Rosie. So she hasn't orphaned Rosie at all. It's beautifully. But I wanted to show Susan one of the type pal from Switzerland, Carole. She sent me this postcard. That's 1903. And when you talked about simply addressing in the back, I'm going to read that. I'm going to read that to you. I'm going to translate. So it's from Lausanne, which is a French part in Switzerland. And it's a postcard sent to France. And it's addressed to Mademoiselle Suzanne Montreuil, living at her parents' on Kennedy Street, Poligny, France. So it's one of those examples, right? That Susan, I think Susan's one was better because it was simply the name of the person, the city, and the state. This one has the street, but these are original. This is an original. It was mailed on April 21st, and it was received in Poligny on April 22nd, and it's stamped. It's stamped when the stamp was canceled. You have a clear one here, and it's stamped as to when it was received, in the city where it was distant. So you have 2 stamps, one
Wow.
when it leaves and one when it arrives. It's
How
quite
long did it
cool.
take?
1 day, 21st to
day.
the 22nd.
Okay.
So, but it's just across the border. It's
Okay.
basically,
Okay.
it's not that far, but I
Okay.
don't want to say just across. It's maybe I misrepresented, but it's in the, you know, same kind of geographic area.
What year
I
was
think
So
Diane
that's
was asking what year.
so 1903.
Okay.
So I said 1903. This one is 1903, and another one with a picture from Lausanne in 1901. So that one was mailed 1901, and it's very faint. So the ink has almost disappeared. This was very, very faint, and you know how I try to put as much text as I can on a postcard. Here it says, big hug, I love you, mother. And it's sent to somebody in Paris, which I can't really decipher. I haven't been able to read it properly. Maybe there's some techniques with light to be able to bring out the ink. I don't know, but it's so faint that it's very, very, very difficult to read what it is. But these are original. It's fantastic.
Wow.
This is what's fantastic about Type Pals. We write and we get all these fantastic things from other places.
Definitely.
And I guess Susan, she killed 2 birds with 1 stone, or maybe 3 birds with the same stone, because her new use for typewriters include those mystery games. So it's not just about typing letters. Now Susan's going to be making games with her typewriter and then discovering what's the final image once you've typed it.
Yeah.
Hey, so I got really lucky. A Type Pal, Werner from Alberta, heard me say 2 weeks ago, that I really like to have a Suisse. And he said, you can have this one.
Oh, wow.
And so this is a tower sold by Sears Roebuck. And it's a courier model. It was made by Oliver. The label here at the back is Oliver Typewriters in England. And it's, according to all the information on websites, this is the same mechanism, the same model as the Patria, which is the basis for the Suisse model. So it's Oliver that made it according to the plans or according to the schematics to the Patria. So I got really, really lucky, and I said to Werner, I'd love to have it. And I said, I'll pay shipping, but he gave it to me. So how nice of him to give me a typewriter. It was really, really great. And then in the same week, I saw an oddity. This is a Remington Monarch. The light is not good.
There we go.
And I got this for $20. It's about it was just a
Wow.
half an hour drive away from where I live. And it's quite rare, actually. There aren't very many of those on the typewriter database. And this says made in Canada at the back, okay? But we know that they didn't make them, they assembled them. So where was it made? Where the parts come from? Well, it came from Holland or the Netherlands. So Indro, if Indro's still around, this was made in this country, and it's got a fantastic touch action. It's like, I think it's like, the torpedo model that were made in Holland or something like that.
There
Anyway,
is
it's
Daniel,
super snappy.
there is a Remington model that is a torpedo imposter, which is the Mark II. And
Okay.
And Richard Polt has written about it, and I have a friend that has one. It's got a plastic case, but it's a very nice machine.
So this one is all steel case. It's older. than the Mark II. And it was made in the same plant, Susan, as the Mark II. But it was made only for a couple of years or something like that, or I could be wrong. This is a 1965, according to the serial number. And what is amazing is that the owner, there was a piece of paper inside the case, written in a Slavic language. I think it's Serbian, according to Google Translate. The previous owner put a carbon film ribbon inside. So I'm going to remove the ribbon cover. These are the spools, the normal spools. But they're wound with a carbon film ribbon, and so it types a little bit like a Selectric or a carbon film.
Right.
And they've already used one side of the ribbon. So when I got it, the lower part has already been used, and then they flipped the spools and they started using the other side. So that the piece of paper that was in the case dated from 1997. So since 1997, this hasn't been probably not used because the paper was in the platen, was rolled in the platen, still there in the case. So $20 for this, and it really, I'm going to release. There's a carriage lock here on the front. There's carriage lock here. I just released it, and it's very snappy. It's extremely snappy, and it's amazing. $20.
Wow.
And then there's never two without three in the same time. And wait a minute. So I have an image. I'm gonna share my screen. All right. I'm going to share the screen. Here it is. Is it working? Share. That is the reason I asked Joe to bring out his colibri.
Oh wow.
This is a colibri that was found in very, very bad shape in Montreal. It's got a French-Canadian keyboard, QWERTY, also French-Canadian with the French accents here on those two keys. So it's a bit of a unicorn. It's so sad that it's in that state. It's quite rusted at the back here. I have other photos of the back. It's quite rusted. I'm going to try to restore that one.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to try to restore that. So I don't know if, maybe I should just. So at the back there, all the paint is gone at the top for the paper, and there's a lot of rust in here.
It's my garage.
So I'm going to try to restore. I mean, this is going to be like a complete redo of the paint. This is not like saving the original paint. There's no way to save that. There's only, de-rusting and painting again that's going to work. But it looks here bad, but the rust is not here. This is more dust. The rust is at the back here. Maybe it was in a case sitting, there was water, or it was humid at the back. So that part, that might need some new parts. I don't know if I'll be able to find parts or if they'll be salvageable. But I'm gonna try. So it's one of those things that I'm gonna put a lot of time in it. It's not for the value. It's just for the challenge of restoring it. Anyway, I'm gonna try to share it. I'm gonna try to save it, and that's it.
Did Colby Kirk inspire you to do that?
Garen there and Bob and others like Lucas Duell, they're the ones that I take a lot of cues from. So Bob Marshall, and Garen or Jaren, I never know how to say his name. Hot Typewriter. He does beautiful paint jobs. If people have been following, there are other people too in Germany that do fantastic restorations. But I mean, it's just that I can't get that one just die. I'm gonna try to save it. That's just like something that we'll see how it goes. But I know the back panel, the screws will be totally gone, and I don't know if the panel itself is going to be like the cover, the carriage cover is going to be able to be saved. But I'll try. If nothing, I won't succeed. But if I don't try, I don't know if I'll be able to.
Well, you know, the main chassis is cast alloy, right? Like an aluminum alloy, the main chassis is. So that should be in fairly good shape. It's mainly the steel parts, right, that would rust.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I think just the paint job itself looks like you could, what's called media blasting or bead blasting, right? And that would probably could be a good way to strip it off. Of course, you know this, but yeah.
No, you're right. You're right. Sandblasting came to mind.
Good luck with it, because they are, they are wonderful little machines. And my little Calibre, I've had a lot of fun with just tweaking the performance over the years, so that I'm really super happy with it. And in fact, I was just typing here a while ago that this bouncy, I'm typing on this patio table. It's an extruded metal tabletop, and it's bouncy. The typewriter bounces, and this was the worst case scenario for causing this typewriter to skip back when it was doing that. And this is like a test, but because I added an extra spring to the escapement rocker plate to stiffen it up a little bit. Anyways, well, I hope you have good luck, Daniel, with restoring that, because that is a cool machine. And yep.
Thank you.
And Daniel, I'm sure you're gonna fix it, because you fixed mine by just talking about it, so it's gonna be fine.
Yep. I was just gonna say that.
Well, I got lucky. I think I got lucky with Corbinian too. I got lucky with Christophe. He had a Hermes that the escapement wasn't working, and I told him, like, show me pictures, like, of the inside. And then we saw that the spring was not attached properly, and I said, it's the spring, and he thought he had almost given up, and he reattached the spring, which was not that easy, but he did find it worked. So I'm glad when I we can help each other. Like I said, I take a lot of tips I from Dwayne Jensen and all the pros out there. Like everybody, everything. I'm like a sponge, and I absorb that, and I incorporate it. So, Bill, thanks for your comment. Yeah, that Monarch actually types pretty well. And since it's all steel, it's like you have the Remington 1040. There was a Remington 1040 not so long ago that I missed, but it was all plastic, right? And that's okay. I mean, I have a couple typewriters that are all plastic. So, but when I saw that one, it was all metal and a bit older. I said, I should get it. The price was right, $20 plus 30 minutes to drive there, 30 minutes to come back. So that's all right.
Yeah.
I was like a bit of a challenge. So I'm not even finished fixing this electric, and I'm already thinking about the next projects. But anyways, that's how my mind works. Like, there's always a long list of projects.
Excellent. But we have faith in you, Daniel.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. And it's so good to see you. I see a new face. Fred, how are you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Welcome.
This is my first time setting this up, and this was an impromptu thing and all, but I was going to make my debut last week. And
Oh,
yeah, you had canceled it. So I was like, that's fine, but
sorry.
that's fine. But the when I went back to look at this next one that was coming up and I saw the theme, I was like, well, this would be the perfect one for me because the whole reason I have typewriters is for other reasons besides just typing specifically. So
Excellent.
so a little bit about myself is I'm in upstate New York. I'm the guy who's on the typewriter, the antique typewriter group, who's bragging about the fact that I live close to Ilion in New York and all. I live right in the middle of where Corona and LC Smith and in at one point in time Royal was actually over in like Albany and New York City and stuff like that. So but I decided I wanted to get some typewriters because I want to do some creative writing, and I like the the tactile, the noise that it makes. A lot of people are always trying to make it quieter and all, but I don't mind it. Actually, I like that part of it. So so I've been working the last few months to get myself a setup where I can actually sit down, do the typing and such, and then I would do crafting stuff and all while watching Type Pals on YouTube. And so I've been putting together little things like this, which is my calligraphy kit and all, where I have all my stuff for my inks and stuff like that to do the writing parts of it and all. I have one
Nice.
for wax seals and stuff when I get to that point. The biggest thing was me trying to get this desk that I've got here and all. And unfortunately, this is a desk that's got the two hinges on the back and one arm towards the back holding everything up. So I
Oh,
can't put weight on this.
yeah.
So this week I've been working on a way to fix the problem. So I actually have been making a kickstand. And so all I got to do is just bring this up here and all, pull this down, and I can just raise this up to whatever height I need, and it'll just lock itself in place. And I
Oh,
can just
wow.
put whatever I want in here. It holds the weight like that. And
Nice.
so, like, of all the typewriters they got sitting right here, I was just using my signature 510. I've got one of the things I've been doing with these lately, and what I'm going to be doing going forward is some collage journaling. I live up in upstate New York where there's a lot of parks, and I'm going to be doing a lot of photography. And back to my Corona 3 that's here in my display cabinet and all, this was owned by somebody who was a photographer locally. So this has actually got branding for Booth of Utica and all. So this is right in my hometown. This is a one person owner and all. He bought it back in like early, is either, this is 1919, so this is either 1920, 1921. And his great granddaughter sold it to me. So they just had it stored someplace, and he just finally decided to get around to getting rid of it. And I was like, well, I definitely want one of these folding ones. I definitely want something that's local. So
Wow.
so I managed to get this here. I got two different signatures, including the Spencerian one that Ted Monk had featured on one of his articles about the Spencerian script and all. And then I got my other, the only reason I have these down here is because I was making Christmas cards. So one of the things I'm doing is I'm using this to create like cards and stuff like that I can use. And I want to put them as a decoration because Christmas is my favorite time of year, but I can actually type out onto the insert and all, whatever I want to put on there, and then I can put this on display. So I was like, this is quite a nice little way of doing it. I just finished doing the card, the text in it. I got to make the envelope still, but I'm going to be putting them into these sleeves. I don't even know if I really need to bother with the typewriter, the making envelopes at this point and stuff, but it's fun to do regardless. So
yeah.
But the guy who owned this one was a photographer locally, and he would go through, take all his pictures, and he'd catalog them using this typewriter to catalog them with. So I figured when I go to do my photography up in the Adirondack Mountains and stuff and all, I'm going to make journals, and I'm going to take pictures of my, take some of the pictures, print them out small, put them into the journal, but I can use this to do the typing and all that stuff with it as well. Thing is, it needs a new ribbon. The ribbon that's on this is the original ribbon. It got stored away, never use it. Still works. It's sketchy, but it still works. And I think it's just, it starts destroying itself. So I don't want to use that anymore if I can help it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I finally got my setup and all. I finally got this stuff done. Over the course of the next year, when you guys are doing Type Pals and stuff, I probably plan on making a new card each weekend. That way in Christmas time, I have cards I can send out to people, but I haven't actually go through the process of anything. So,
Oh, cool.
but yeah, journaling, all that stuff. The last few weeks, you guys have been doing all sorts of stuff with making journals and binders and stuff like that.
Yes.
And I was doing this research since April, and I finally officially decided that I'm going to bind all the stuff. So I'm going to make everything for the year, and then I'm going to put them on loose paper, the 12 inch by 12 inch blank paper for scrapbooking books, and then I'm going to trim it down and I'm going to bind it all straight up, and then those are just I'll put the covers on. I'll do foil covering for the what year it is and all that stuff. Put it on a shelf. Eventually, I want to have a library that I can put all this stuff in. So I think it would be nicer just to pull it out and look through it. So
very nice.
That's me.
Very nice. We have Ken in the comments asking what your go-to camera for upstate New York is.
I actually I got myself a Canon 90D, $1,200 body plus another $800 worth of accessories or something like that. But I wanted to make sure I could do video stuff because I'm not actually a typewriter enthusiast to start with. I'm actually a retro computer enthusiast, and I wanted to do, because I do gaming and stuff like that. So I was going to use this as also a webcam, so a high quality webcam. This way I can also, as I'm doing projects, I can top down really high quality photos with it and stuff. So this is going to be my camera, my 90D that I put a lot of money into to make sure I have a good one to start with.
Yes.
And I just today picked up the first of two things. This coming Thursday, or is it Wednesday and Thursday, I think, is when that comet is going to be as close to Earth as you can get. So I'm going to go out and do astrophotography, and I had to get a warmer for the lens and a remote shutter so I don't have to touch the camera, because I do a lot of stuff that causes this camera to shake. So
yes, very cool, excellent. Well, that what you shared definitely fits the theme for today. So the timing was good after all. Yeah, very cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, Fred. Let's see here. Diane, how are you?
Sorry.
It's okay.
There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise from David. I'm sorry to call you out, but your mic is on and you're.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
So
Thanks,
I lost my other phone died, so I changed phones.
Oh, okay. Thanks, David.
But it's good to know my microphone works.
Yeah. Excellent. Yes. How are you, Diane?
I'm well, Greg. I pulled out a machine to write a letter and realized that this one was not in the database for some reason. I've had it for quite some time, but I'm not really sure why it never made it in there.
Wow.
I'm kind of mystified.
There we go. Nice.
I was just wondering, what was it I was saying in here? I was wondering what defines a wide carriage with the modern typewriter, specifically portables, because I was thinking about how many wide carriage machines do I have in my collection, and I can think of two, this one and one other that specifically the carriage is a little bit wider, but in today's world of plastic wedges, those are all wider, it seems, if you compare them to the older models.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, this is a machine I've had, I don't remember how long now, to be honest. Because it's been a while since I got it, and I think one of the reasons
Uh-oh, you muted yourself, or the cat muted you.
No, I don't know. The cat's over here for a change.
Okay.
I have you pinned? I can't see the gallery here. That's just weird. Normally oh, okay, there we go. Oh,
So
dear.
wait, what inspired you to bring out that particular typewriter?
Because it was in its case and it was accessible in the living room.
Ah, okay. Okay. That's a good reason.
It is, sometimes that has to be the reason that things get pulled out.
Yeah.
Not who I was hoping it was from.
Oh.
Well, no, I won't get into it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I just thought, I've been trying to use the weekly Sunday talk to get letters written.
Nice.
I picked that up from you, Joe. Like what haven't I picked up from Joe? Well, there's a few things I picked up from Joe. I don't do the ultra portables the way he does. I do the old stuff the way he doesn't.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, I'm trying to reduce my pile of letters so that I get more letters.
Yeah.
Oh gee, I just got some from Amazon. Delivered. It's like, oh boy. It might, I think I might know what it is. It might actually be typewriter related.
Ooh, maybe an unboxing.
Well, let's see. They took it to my next door neighbor's house.
Oh.
Yeah, they can't get that right. How was my delivery? I should say not so great because you didn't put it at my actual office. That's the thing. They actually included a picture in the email, which is nice, but it's not
It also shows
view.
their mistake.
It does, and there's a thumbs up. It was great, and there's a thumbs down. Not so great.
Yep.
And so yeah, I'll keep my. I don't know why I'm not. It's like I want it to show the active speaker, but oh, I know what the problem is. We're in full screen for some silly reason. Okay, there we go. Anyway, so it's a cold and dreary day.
Yeah.
And it's gonna get colder because it's just the weather,
Yep.
I can't go outside and sit on a lawn furniture because honestly, I don't have any lawn furniture outside to sit on. I can't duplicate what Joe's doing there, and plus he at least has sunshine there, even though it's cold sunshine.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's see. Anything else new? No.
Okay.
I actually got some of these last week.
Oh, cool.
Of course, that's because I thought, oh, there we go. I thought I was out of them, but turns out I have 2 that still have some stuff in it, but I don't worry about. Obviously, I still correct my mistakes because it bugs me, even if it's on colored paper, which then you can really see it, but it's like, whatever. It's just I feel like making the corrections, and I'm going to make the corrections. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Excellent.
So Diane, I just made a typo here as I was typing on the silent super. Sean, I have the silent super, by the way. And what I did is, so first of all, I put a space between some letters when I shouldn't have. So I actually underscored the space in red to highlight it instead of trying to cover it up. And then I also transposed 2 adjacent letters in a word, and I again underscored them in red. So instead of trying to cover it up and making a mess of it, because I'm typing on newsprint paper that's off-white and it would show up as a a very off-colored blotch with correction tape or anything. So just underscore it in red and acknowledge it that it's a mistake instead of trying to cover it up and make it look like you're trying to hide it, but you did a terrible job of hiding it.
So your typewriter has Grammarly built in?
Yes, exactly. It's just like having Grammarly, or Microsoft Word with the
yeah.
Red squiggly line.
yeah.
Everybody ends up writing in the same voice because they're letting Microsoft tell them what proper grammar is.
Exactly. Yes.
I've just learned to ignore that over the years because it's kind of like Microsoft Word cannot get the language right.
Yeah.
On anything. It's like, a lot of scientific terms are not necessarily English. But I don't want you to sit here and change the format of the language just because I opened the document and you think that it's a different language.
Yeah.
Boy, I turned that off on Word. It's just annoying. So I just rely on my own eyes.
Yeah,
it is. But unfortunately, when I have to see the comments that other people have made, I just automatically reject those comments whenever it changes the language. Give me a break, reject, and it goes away. Still, I still have to go through the exercise of doing it.
Yeah, it's nice to turn it off when you're composing, and then you can turn it on at the end just for one quick check and decide if you want to accept their recommendations or not.
Well, but this is other people, and these are work documents, so other people are reviewing these, so I can't just turn it off.
Tell them you're using the New York Times style book, and
yeah.
No, actually, we don't do that. No, we do this.
ACS.
Oh.
American Chemical Society.
Oh.
So do you have to have a type? You have to use what do you call it? Subscript and superscript for chemical symbols?
Well, if you're doing an exponent on something, so we have equations and things, and we do superscripts and subscripts on things. So or footnotes. The footnote option has never worked the way that I think they intended it to work. So superscript there, and then go down to the footnote, and say what it is, and
look, I've never really written a paper with extensive footnotes, but I've read books with extensive footnotes, like Infinite Jest, right? If you've ever read Infinite Jest, right? It's footnoted. It's fiction that's footnoted, right? Anyway. But if you think about footnotes that extend into the next page, how do you format that, or how do you predict it ahead of time, right? It's kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
By the way, we were talking about Microsoft, word processors. I have to mention this, that Microsoft started, they're headquartered in Seattle or in Washington State, right? They actually started in Albuquerque.
Oh, did they?
In the mid 1970s, before there was the personal computer, the PC, the S100 bus computers were kind of a homemade computer with a motherboard and daughter boards. And it was a company called Altair MITS, who was based in Albuquerque, that came out with the first home kit for computers in the early 70s. So there was this computer club that started here, and Bill Gates and his buddy was one of the people here. And so he started Microsoft, and he wrote the first basic compiler for the S100, CPM machines, right? CPM was an operating system somewhat like DOS, MS-DOS, but it preceded it. So anyway, all that to say, there's a little strip mall or a little building over in the rough part of town near Central Avenue that is the actual office where Microsoft started. And there's a big plaque, a big sign. I'll have to do a little vlog video one of these days and show you guys that. But
yeah, you should.
So there's actually a story that Bill Gates got in trouble, got arrested, and there's actually a mugshot of him as a young, like a late teenager young man at a mugshot, and he was sort of had a grin, he wasn't like sad. He was kind of like, I don't know, he was being a goofy kid. But so they ran out of money, and he asked his dad for a loan. And his dad said, I'll give you a loan if you come back to Washington State. And the reason why is because he went to Albuquerque National Bank and tried to get a loan and they wouldn't give him a loan. And the whole story is about if he had gotten a loan, Albuquerque would have been a big software center for the computer industry, right? I mean, potentially.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the way the fortunes rise and fall.
Yeah.
Oh, that idiot banker, you know.
An idiot banker.
I know.
You got that right. Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
I've heard. I seem to recall hearing recently that a similar story with trains and how St. Louis decided that no, trains are not the future, meaning riverboats were going to be the future, and so all the trains basically went up to Chicago, and look what happened, you know. Oh well.
Anyway, sorry for letting me interrupt you, Diane.
No, that's okay.
Excellent. Anything else new with you, Diane?
No. There's nothing else. I can't think of anything.
So your package isn't typewriter related?
I don't know because I have.
Oh yeah, it was delivered next door.
It was delivered and it was delivered next door, so I got to put on shoes and go next door and get it.
Yeah.
And make sure it's mine because I'm sure it is. But you know, even if I don't, my neighbors might bring it over. But I'm just as well, since I know it's there, I'm just gonna go get it.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, what I'm hoping it is ribbons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Excellent. Well, it's so good to see you, Diane.
I will be back. I'll be back.
I'll be back.
I need the shades.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. Christoph, how are you doing? Oh, I think he's frozen. Well, maybe not frozen, but he's occupied. All right, we'll move along. Bill, how are you?
Hey, Gregory, I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good. Excellent.
I don't really have anything new to report. I just thought I would check in on a Sunday morning for a change of pace. So
yeah, you are always welcome to do so.
Hey, Bill.
Definitely.
And Daniel, the Groma project sounds like it'd be a great way to kick off a typewriter blog.
There you go. There you go. The kick in the butt. Bill has been encouraging me to have my own blog, and I've been very, very timid about that, but he's convinced me now to do it, and I'm going to. But then he just mentioned, hey, the Groma, like make it a project, and
there you go.
type and publish, and that's so true, Bill.
That'd be very cool.
Letter, by the way.
Oh wow, already.
Yeah. You know, the fantastic thing is that seems like mail is faster now. So all my zip+4 shenanigans or my explanation might be irrelevant because it seems like the postal service are just back to normal. I don't know. That may be just the way.
Well, you never know, but if it got there quickly, then certainly I'm not going to complain about it. That's great.
That's great. Yeah.
So, but I actually am trying to remember to make use of the formatting that you posted out on the forum, and I remember most of the time, but every once in a while I fall back into my old habits, and but it was nice of you to post that, and so I'm grateful for that.
Well, thank you. I still think I'm still going to use it, their format. Even if the post seems to be back to normal, I'm still going to use their proposed format because I'm a good, I follow rules.
Yeah.
You know, the part of the U.S. Postal Service formatting requirements that I was most surprised about was they recommend putting apartment numbers above the street number because
Yeah.
it scans from bottom to top from largest to most local geographical area, right? So they want the apartment number before the or above the street number, which is just the opposite of the way I've always done it.
Yeah, no, that's right,
Everybody.
Joe, and thank you for mentioning that because on your YouTube video you mentioned that, and it also surprised me. I didn't notice that when I was looking at their, you know, their thing.
Well, their rules
guidelines.
seem to be spread across multiple PDFs, and there's a link from one to the other. You kind of have to jump around. You know, they'll say, do this as detailed in blah, blah document. And there's another hyperlink. And then you click on that and there's a whole other document that has more detail about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Gregory, the last thing I'll say very quickly is in case Carlos is watching this or pulls up the video at some point in time later, his influence finally got me to perform some maintenance on my espresso machine, and I finally got around to getting like some I needed to get some descaler, and I got everything taken care of, and I had some espresso this morning, so I have him to thank for that in part.
So Bill, hold out your hand in front of your camera and see how shaky you are. Is there more caffeine in it now?
I'm fine.
Did the coffee taste better?
Yeah, it will get better as I have more practice of how to properly manipulate my machine. It's not automated or anything, and so there's certain timing rules for when the boiler heats up to a certain point and so forth. But even like my first try after, man, I think I've been dormant for a couple of years with the espresso stuff, and I can still do better than what I could get at Starbucks. So
you know, my espresso machine is maybe 20 years old or something, and the problem it has is the seal up inside where the portafilter seals, where you bayonet mount the portafilter in place. That gasket is worn out, and if I grind the beans too finely, or if I put too many grounds in the portafilter, it'll overflow that seal instead of running through, and then you just basically wasted coffee beans and got to start over.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had to replace the gasket. I've had to rebuild my steam wand. My espresso machine is about the same age as yours, so
mine is a Starbucks branded, but it's made by Seika, whatever that international company was. It made a lot of, but yeah, mine has the steam wand valve. It doesn't quite close all the way completely, so when you start dispensing espresso, the steam wand drips, you know, water. So you have to have something underneath it just to, you know, a nuisance. I need to go get a rebuild kit for mine and put the seals in.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Bill.
It's all kind of fun stuff like messing around on typewriters, rebuilding espresso machines, you know, it all falls into that same
or if you're like Susan,
category.
You can bring your Hermes Ambassador to the coffee shop, you know. Which I think would be very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's about the size of you know, a coffee shop espresso machine. So
yeah.
La
Marzocco made a typewriter.
Yeah, we should have a typewriter with a built-in espresso machine, you know.
There you go.
That'd be a great concept. I like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all for me, Gregory. So it's good to see everybody.
It's good to see you too, Bill. And Indra was just posting in the comments there that he got a new machine, the Sage Barista Express, which he recommends, and he's taking that one to France, and he's going to keep another one at where he is now. So very cool.
Good stuff.
Yeah, we need those beans. Yeah, I'm definitely a coffee addict myself. I don't have an espresso machine, but I have just about everything else. So yeah. Right now my go-tos are the French press and the AeroPress and also the Mocha Pot, actually. which it gets something espresso like, but it's not espresso. But yeah, 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 very cool. Let's see here. Larry, are you gonna fall asleep? He's kicking back.
Yeah, I just couldn't sit up.
Oh,
Good lawn chair out. I just I had this office chair. I can never. You see, I put pads on it, and I can never get comfortable. I need to get a good office chair for my garage.
yeah,
This
definitely.
lawn chair was right here, and I'm like, I know I can kick back in that. I fall asleep on the beach all the time.
How are you?
You were saying new uses for typewriters, and this isn't a new use, but I'm putting 10 typewriters in this Arts of the Albemarle for till Valentine's Day starting Friday. And then I talked to a brewery in town, which they have sofas and high top tables and chairs, and plus they have all their, it's a huge bar. It looks out on the water and all that. But I figure where all the sofas and chairs and stuff. But I asked them if I could bring typewriters in there, and they're like, "Yeah, that would be really cool," And I thought, just for people to hang out. I said I wouldn't leave my typewriters alone in there. But did anybody else ever try that? That of that? Like, do they get drunk and ruin your test? Do they spill beer on your typewriters? I wonder how good that would be. I don't know. I just thought it looks like a relaxing place to do it. And people would probably do that, but you think that's a wise decision? And May, I'm not going to take yours over there. I guarantee that.
Oh, you can. It needs some exercise. All typewriters need a little exercise.
Well, I don't want somebody to spill beer on us, because that could happen. But did anybody ever do that? Or?
We'll just call it the drunken typewriter.
There you go. Afterwards, you just have to give it rubber ducky time.
Yeah.
May said I could take her typewriter to this Arts of the Albemarle. So so everybody knows, she said it was okay. It should be okay though. They're gonna type Valentine's. I thought, cursive one is probably perfect for Valentine's. And
I agree.
I want to take at least 2 cursive ones. I have an Olympia SF cursive. But that's kind of portable, and it kind of scares me that's that portable, because it's, I'm going to keep watching all these typewriters, and there's cameras in there, but I'm a little paranoid, I guess. It's like, that is, and then they're going to be there till Valentine's Day. So I'm not going to be there every minute either. So that's, I didn't want to take that.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, the other ones are all pretty big typewriters, and I just feel like, that's kind of brazen, and there's art in there, like the guy there said, well, there's art that's worth $18,000 in there, so I don't think you should worry about your typewriter. But I got thinking about that, and I thought, yes, but it's an original piece of art, and you're not going to sell that original piece of art for $18,000. I don't care what you might to somebody there, but you're not going to take that out and sell it on the street that way. But these typewriters, anybody could take it and sell it on eBay, and nobody'd ever know. And they make money off of it easily. So
yeah,
I don't know. So I think some people don't understand about what typewriters actually are valued at.
Yeah, that's true.
And how easily they are sold.
Especially
a lot of people overvalue them, obviously. But they're not like cheap pieces of junk like a lot of people think. Oh, that's nothing. No, it's if you have a clue, they're worth something.
Yeah. I once posted on the Nextdoor app. Basically, I just thought I would throw it out there. If anybody had any typewriters they wanted to get rid of, and I didn't necessarily say that I would take them for free or anything. But then someone posted, "Oh no, I know what typewriters are worth."
Oh wow!
I was like, "Oh,
last 10 years it's gotten around. More people know than ever. It seems like."
Yeah. 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 So yeah, anything else new with you, Larry?
Geez, I wasn't think I just ate.
Oh, I think you need a little nap.
Yeah, see, they had a little soup thing at church in a white elephant gift exchange. So I
Oh,
did that and I ate some Brunswick stew. And then I still had dinner here. So I came here and ate dinner here. too.
okay.
That was good. Because I was,
Nice.
I don't know, I kind of, when I look forward to a certain dinner, I'm really disappointed if I can't have that dinner. So I decided, well, I'm going to still have it anyway, even if I just ate. So I'm not disappointed, but yeah, but the blood's not in my head anymore, I don't think.
Oh.
So
That's
yeah,
neat.
I can't think of anything. I mean,
Okay.
I just, oh, you know what? In the White Elephant Gift Exchange, I got a, what do they call those things where people were talking about them, not last week, I think the week before, the things you write in, it's got a spiral thing and
A notebook or journal or
journal. Yeah, there were several books in the journal and I'm like, oh, awesome. So I got a journal.
okay.
I actually stole it off of the guy who, because I got cash, stole the cash that I got, and so the guy across the books, I'm like, okay, I got to take the books. So what I found out is, you know, oh my gosh, Moses got the 10 Commandments, you know, and all that, and written in stone and all that. Well, I found out the one about thou shalt not steal, they actually changed it. Now it's now shall not steal more than 3 times in a row. Because that's what they allowed at this gift exchange at church. Steal 3 times and then you were done. So
yeah. You have to steal wisely.
Yes, that's right.
Steal wisely.
Oh, it looks like Diane has an unboxing.
Oh, typewriter related.
You're muted.
Sorry.
There we go. We love our unboxings. That looks awfully big for typewriter ribbons.
Well, hopefully it is, but actually it may not be, come to think of it.
Okay.
Unless you ordered 100.
I
Or it
know.
could be 100 air bubbles in one ribbon.
Yeah. They've done that to us before, actually.
Yeah, actually,
I opened it
I
this.
don't think it's Amazon, so.
Are you sure you want us
Okay.
to see this, Diane?
Yeah, what about something else?
Somebody else is interested, you can see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can see this.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Excellent.
nice.
It's a book.
Yeah,
Nice.
my sister
Yeah.
likes her a lot.
For the person who can't get decluttered.
Yes, I might need to borrow that after you're done.
What
You
is
can see my,
Is it Karashi? What is that?
you know, what's funny, I read a little article about her that now that she's got 3 kids, she's kind of relaxed on the whole organizing, you know, obsessive thing.
Well,
But
yeah.
still inspiration for us. You know, I don't have any little kids at home anymore, so I have no excuse.
Right.
That's nice.
Excellent.
The first thing is get rid of anything that does not bring you joy. That's the one thing I remember. If it doesn't bring
Yeah.
you joy, out it goes.
Yeah. I think that's my problem though. Like everything brings me joy.
I know, right? 50 typewriters makes me very happy.
Yeah.
There you go. It
Right.
starts out this way: a dialogue with yourself.
You have to talk to yourself. Does it
That's
have
what's
to be
always
out
got me
loud?
into trouble. Damn Bill, he's an idiot.
Oh.
We all do it all.
Oh, Bill's always got his St. Louis stuff every time I see him on TV.
I know, huh?
Yeah, I'm wearing my Saturday night garb on Sunday.
It was an all-nighter there,
what's
huh?
the sweatshirt?
I did almost
Typewriter
pull an
all-nighter.
all-nighter, yeah.
What's the sweatshirt? I almost went there.
Oh, you did?
Wow.
I said
Charleston?
I almost did. I did not. I went to University of Missouri St. Louis. But yeah, that was one of the schools that I could have gone to. And actually, I've been meaning to see if I could call the library up there, because it seems that in some of my attempts of locating volume 1 of this elusive typewriter repair manual, it seems to me I saw that they had one.
Oh, wow.
But an email did not do me any good.
You're gonna have to type him a letter.
Yeah, I have to type in a letter.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that's close enough that, yeah, if I really had to, I could drive up there. That's reasonably close.
Yeah, it's not too far away.
Bill, remind us, you have a connection with that area?
I grew up in Illinois.
Okay.
And I only went to EIU for 1 semester, and I followed my family down to Texas. I went off to school and my family moved. They tried to get away from me, and I foiled their plans. And so by the time all was said and done, I went to like 4 different schools before I finally got around to graduating.
Oh, wow.
So I bounced around all over the place. But I probably had the best time here. So I wear the sweatshirt fondly.
Nice.
But yeah, almost the first 20 years of my life I spent in Illinois.
Okay. Yeah. I was born in Peoria, so.
Oh, okay. Well, that not too far
connection.
away from the little town I grew up in was Pontiac, and it was on the old Route 66, and I can actually tie this into typewriters because I finally got around to placing my first order with Baco this week, and the woman I talked to, and it was very impressive customer service because I called like at the end of their workday. They only probably had a few minutes left, and I was like, "Hey, I want to order one of your bulk reels of ribbon," and I made mention to her that I had been a lifelong Cardinal fan, and she's like, "Well, how did that happen?" You know, I grew up in Illinois. I told her about my hometown, and she was familiar with it because she drove through Pontiac on her way up to her parents' place in northern Illinois. So she actually ended up getting my order out later that day, and within 2 days I had it. So
oh, wow,
it was pretty cool.
Very good.
So what did you order?
Just a bulk black and red nylon ribbon. I noticed that most of my machines now, the ribbon has become fairly faded. And I didn't put new ribbons on every machine, but quite a few of them. And so I think it's just indicative of how much I've actually been using my typewriters over the past few years, you know? And so it's like, I'm going to go ahead and refresh these guys and get my letters looking like those that I received from others.
Oh, nice. And do you have one of Bob's speedy spoolers?
No, I'm going to make my own. I'm actually going to,
okay.
I need to head over to the hardware store and get a few parts. I'm trying to figure out how I want to arrange things to accommodate the reel. You know, I remember May's magic box that she made, and so I'm kind of, I've got some ideas stewing in my mind, and
I'm thinking stepper motors and over engineering it is the secret.
Yeah, I'm gonna build some Boolean logic into it, and
you'll have to call it the wicked winder.
Golden ratio.
The wicked winder, not the speedy spooler.
Yeah. Just all part of the fun.
I think the thing with Bob's is that he has accommodated the in his design the Olivetti spools. He has a certain shape washer with a rubber thing that fits in the little wider hole where the nut is or something.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you should make sure you share that with us on your blog and here if you do come up with a solution.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's a good point. I need to practice what I preach when I keep trying to encourage Daniel to blog all of his stuff. So
I know.
Ribbon winding solutions. That sounds like a corporate business speak terminology. Providing solutions
his
to
new
the
letterhead.
community.
Yeah, new letterhead.
yeah. Somewhere there's got to be a big, thick 3-ring binder just full of information on that somewhere, you know.
See, I like over engineering things and stuff because all the extra features you can add in. It's just fun kind of trying to design all that stuff. And it's actually Joe Van Cleve's fault.
It
that,
is.
Because I actually own 2 electronic typewriters, the Brother series and stuff and all. And because of his, thermal paper things and stuff, I now have this really weird rig with like 4 different tiers on it that I can put all the different sizes of paper I have. So I can have anything I want anytime.
Nice.
I was noticing about Brother is in the owner's manual for the thermal typewriters, the name Brother, the B is lowercase. They don't capitalize the name of the company. And so anyways, it's pretty funny.
Little brother.
Little brother.
Yeah, little brother.
Is that a new logo though? I have a Brother printer here. Yeah, that made it. When they redid their logo, they did the small B. So my printer over there is a small B.
Interesting.
But my typewriter is a big B.
Yeah, I think all of my label makers and everything for Brother are all the same. The lowercase.
Oh. Well, it must have been something done in the 80s because this is a 1984 Brother Charger, and it has got the baby B.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it very well.
The baby B.
So this is a 1985. This is a 1985 typewriter. The B is baby Brother. So they probably changed it sometime in the 80s.
Yeah. That's an impressive. Is that a label maker?
It is a label maker. Yeah.
It's actually a typewriter that types on linear paper.
Yeah. Didn't you make one of those, Joe?
I did. You can actually stick the labels down to a sheet of paper and make a typewritten page out of it. But
yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the power pack got it got screwed up, and it just about toasted my whatever. I had some electrical problems last year. Anyway, this is one of the cartridges. I used to use this one for address labels, return address labels specifically. Yeah, it's kind of a little dusty because I've been using typewriters to address my letters. But yeah, the power pack, the power cord for it, it went south on me, and I have not. I don't know if I could just use a generic, whatever voltage it was for it or not. I think it's a pretty standard one, but I don't know if I should use the non-Brother type or what. I don't know how picky these things are.
yeah, you just got to know mainly the polarity of it, whether it's negative or positive tip.
Yeah, it says DC in 7 volts. And
Sometimes they have a little molded diagram of the tip and whether it's positive or negative.
Yeah.
Well, there is a little diagram there.
I think Brother is the weird negative center or something like there.
It's
I think so.
A plus under the DC. The IN, it has like a dot in a circle, and then the 7 volts has a negative underneath it.
Whatever the dot is pointed to is the tip polarity. The circle of the dot is the connector, and the center of the connector is a little dot, and it's either positive or negative.
Oh, well, it seems to be pointing at, well, the dot goes through the circle towards the negative sign, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, so it's a negative tip. Yeah.
And you
So
probably
you can get a universal adapter that has all the voltages you can select, and you can have a connector that goes positive or negative, and set it to negative tip, and it ought to work for you.
Oh, I did not know any of that. I would have just looked for a tip that looks like that it would fit in there.
Yeah, but you got to make sure it's the right polarity, because it's DC, not AC, so it has to. The polarity matters.
Or save yourself all the grief and just use a typewriter.
Yeah.
I laugh
I've
because
been just using a typewriter, but
Diane, that sounds like a good T-shirt logo. Is polarity matters.
Yeah, it does.
Just have that
Well,
logo, the circle with a dot in it, and say polarity matters, and only nerds would get that.
It's funny. I have a button on my Doctor Who scarf, and I'm questioning if I can find
Actually,
it.
you have a Doctor Who scarf. It says a lot.
I have a well, it's a
Yeah.
makeshift one. It's not an official one. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
What's an official one? It's still amazing.
So while she is getting it, I have to show this picture. This is a typewriter that my wife saw.
Oh my goodness!
At a antique store, and I think
Oh,
it's
yeah, the
I think
wax.
it's crystallization or something of corrosion.
Yeah, that was.
Oh wow!
Crystals. Okay.
Yeah.
Calcium crystals.
She asked me if she should get it, and I said sure. She's just joking. With me, but-
It kind of looks pretty cool that way.
yeah, actually it does.
I just looked at the typewriter database and I found a brother 1964 where brother was all caps.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Yeah, they've changed their logo over the years apparently, and I think if I remember, Diane, is your brother label maker lowercase on the B?
It was a
Yes.
lowercase, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, they made that change, I think, in the early 80s, because all of my thermals that are brother have that. And also, I was noticing my Olympia Nakajima typewriters, the Reporter and the Report Electronic, the name of the model is all lowercase. The Olympia is the standard capitalized O, but the model is all lowercase, which is interesting.
Yeah. I guess she's having trouble finding her 13-foot scarf. If I remember correctly, that's how long Doctor Who's scarf was.
Yeah.
I think at one point it was like 16 feet, but then there's an episode where like 3 feet of it gets cut off. So then I think that left 13 feet. So
Yeah, I had someone ask me to make them a Doctor Who scarf. I said, absolutely not, but I'll be happy to teach you how to knit one.
Oh, yeah, that would take a while.
It would
It's
take a-
knit one, purl two, drop
Yeah.
3. That's how I do it.
You know, that uppercase and lowercase thing you're talking about, I was just talking to somebody about that the other day, how they use that sometimes just for marketing purposes. I mean, if you type something, even spell something wrong, sometimes it makes people notice more, and they even want to look more, maybe even look for more mistakes, or just notice, well, that's spelled weird, and then they're paying more attention to what you learn. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Or it's aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
Art is so weird. That's all there is to it.
I guess while she's looking for that, we'll move along. David, are you available?
Sure. Is there more than one day?
Hey, David. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing okay.
Excellent. Anything new in your world?
I'm using typewriters to hold shelves down. I thought that was a new use. And in turn, that holds the carpet down and everything else. But what I've been inspired by Joe's inventory in his machine, so I figured the best way to do it would be to break them down by brand. So I got my torpedoes here. One is kind of atrocious, so it's on the workbench right now. But so I'll go through those. I got all the serial numbers and stuff.
Nice.
But while I was doing it, I
Nice.
found that facet. I found a nice little facet hanging out. I have to check that out. And then there was some mention of Calibri. I have one. It's all beat up. It's sort of destitute. But it seems to be mechanical. Yeah, it seems to be mechanically sound. So maybe I'll put some work into it. It's missing all the knobs and stuff like that. But I got kind of a stash of parts from Germany. So I'll see if I got any Calibri knobs in there.
Yeah.
It's mostly Olympia stuff.
Okay.
Birch, you were just had. What was that? Was that a quartz keyboard? Because it didn't look like.
Yeah.
It had the Z in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in there very. I got you.
I was prolifically collecting in Germany, so I have a lot of quartzy machines now. And
David, is that a two-tone?
I was. Yeah. It's. I mean, the paint is sort of messed up on it. I just learned today, like Psychos, that they put the serial number down underneath the space bar. Who does that? Calibri, apparently. But I think it's the only one I have. I'm not, and I think I got it for 5 years or something like that, something insignificant. So it's probably worth putting a little bit of time into.
Definitely.
But because I like kind of the ultra portables like that.
Do you have a favorite machine?
Bothers, probably the Type-On would be a Continental Wanderer, one of the little Continentals from 1940. I mean, it's old 1940, but every time I need to type something, I pull it out and it works like a charm. So, there's no like, oh my God, I forgot it doesn't backspace or it doesn't do this or there's some key that doesn't work. It just works great every time. So it's kind of my favorite one.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's some that maybe I like better, but that one looks good because it's the same as one of the Underwood models. So it's a real good looking machine and it works great. Yeah, I probably haven't used it in 6 months, but I could probably pull it out of the case now and just start typing.
Yeah.
Perfect. But yes, some of these I have to clean them. Try to do that in the garage, but I think it's 1 degree outside or something now, so I'll hold off on that.
Yeah.
Seems brisk. It's a lot warmer in Germany, I got to say, than Nebraska. Nebraska is kind of frosty.
So David, I was spray painting.
Now it'd be hot later.
David, I was spray painting a small part last night in the garage, and it was cold out there, of course. So I had my little space heater sitting on the counter of the workbench, heating up like the can of spray paint right in front of the heater, and my little part was warming up in front of the space heater to get room temperature. And then I quickly go outside, spray paint it, and then I put it in a little Tupperware box with a lid on and brought it inside so it would cure overnight in the warm house without spreading any odors in the house because it's all in a box. It actually worked pretty good that way. But
good.
Yeah, wintertime spray painting.
Yes.
It's amazing that it would, because it has to evaporate. You wouldn't think it evaporate as well as in a Tupperware box, but
it was a small part, and I had like a piece of paper towel underneath it, and it was a big container, so it was not bad.
Okay. Yeah.
Makeshift.
It'll probably take all day. But yeah, that's all for me. Pretty much just inventorying, trying to catch up with Joe, and do my part to populate the database.
Excellent.
Which I did pretty easily year all the torpedoes while we were chatting earlier. It looks like 60, 61 kind of time frame for most of them. Except for the 20 down here, that's 1950, 50 something. Yeah, okay. 53. So I think there was a question mark or something in that way, but it looks like a 1953 kind of thing.
Yeah. Excellent.
Unfortunately, I can't find the scarf at this time. I can see it's in a bag in my head somewhere, but where that bag is, I don't know.
Oh.
What the button says is reverse the polarity of the neutron flow.
Oh, okay.
So for you Doctor Who fans out there, that was a John Pertwee.
Yeah.
That was a John Pertwee phrase. He was a nice fellow, that's for sure.
I believe he was your favorite. Is that right?
Well, when I first started watching, Tom Baker was the one who was showing on the local PBS stations, but I came to really like Pertwee.
Yeah.
Because I guess not that they don't all have some sort of scientific basis to them, but his was kind of a more earthly grounded scientific basis to it, because that was the period where he was, quote, exiled on Earth. So
yeah,
kind of had to make do, and I kind of liked that.
Well, your scarf is probably in the TARDIS, and it'll come back soon.
Yep.
Well, he had the two cars. He had Bessie and the Who-mobile, and I don't really recall. I'd have to look in some of my books to see what happened. Obviously, they've since been sold, but because he passed away in 1996. But anyway.
Well, hopefully the scarf turns up at some point.
Oh, it's here somewhere.
Yeah.
Hence the Marie Kondo book,
There you go. There's the tie-in.
Right.
I couldn't find my Marie Kondo book because
You don't have one.
because yeah.
No, that's a real problem.
Yeah, it is. It is a problem. I've done this for so long. It's really sad, and I have trouble with the book category. I kind of like to avoid that, but when I moved, it was like I actually did get rid of a lot of books. But now I've got typewriters, and I just kind of need to go through the whole. I don't know about. Well, I do need to go kind of through the clothes again, because I acquired some of my late father's clothes. This is one shirt. It's like, anyway.
Hey, Diane, if anybody asks, you just say, I threw the book away because it didn't bring me joy.
Well, I have her other books. I have the original one, and then the Spark Joy one, and then she had one called Joy at Work, which came out, I don't know, 29. It was right before the pandemic, 2019 maybe, and it wasn't written. It was written in partnership with somebody else, and so I never quite got through that one. But this is kind of a reboot, and I guess I kind of need a reboot.
The opposite side of the Marie Kondo philosophy of keeping what gives you joy is throwing out what gives you rage.
It's the same.
How it goes.
Same thing.
There's a really good book called The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning.
Yeah, I've heard of that one too.
I've really enjoyed that. I mean, just thinking about what are people going to have to deal with when I drop dead, and it's at least made me start writing down who gets my typewriters or what, just and clearing out what's not important, and
just that's nice to write a list, Care, but after you drop dead, who cares?
Yes.
I will tell you who cares. I care about the people that I care about who are going to have to clear out my stuff.
Fair enough. To Larry's point the last time, though, Larry said, I don't care. I don't have to deal with it. I'll be dead. So I was just sort of going on the Larry Presnell principle.
Thank you. And Carrie, you're the one that was talking about how do you have time to do everything? Well, if you worry about what's going to happen after you die and you don't worry about what you're doing right now, you're going to miss out on some stuff, right?
I don't want to live with more stuff than I want to live with either, which is part of the point of it.
I'm not gonna blame you for doing whatever you want to do.
I think it's like having life insurance, though. You have life insurance for the sake of your heirs or whatever, right? I mean,
I have, I cleared out my grandmother's house that she had lived in for almost 70 years, had a full basement, a full attic, 5 bedrooms. Let me tell you, that was a pain in the ass. I cleared out my mom's house. I cleared out my dad's house. I just, God help me. I hope I don't have to deal with my sister's stuff, but it helps me to kind of actually see things more clearly as I'm living. Larry, to your point, I'm not worried so much about what happens after I die as like, what am I living with, and what's the point of it, and what am I keeping this stuff for?
Do you think we have like squirrel DNA in us? A little bit of
my especially my family's anything to go by. Plus, I did end up with lots of acorns, oddly, and literally, if you look around my house, there's acorns everywhere. They just come home with me. They're in my pockets. And I know that I have squirrel DNA.
I think the toughest thing since I retired is worrying about what the point of what I'm doing is. I mean, like when I was working, I never had to ask what the point of what I was doing every day was, because I had things that I had to do for somebody else. Now it's always my choice. And so now I'm like, am I getting something out of this? And what am I getting out of it? And it's just making me feel good, or, just all these questions you ask yourself. And sometimes you're like, why am I even bothering asking these questions? It's like, wow, I don't have enough to do. I need to do more, So I do try to keep very busy, because I don't like asking what's the point, because that'll get you depressed too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My mom is a depression child. So, to some extent, she's got a lot of stuff that I'm likely going to have to deal with. And I mean, my dad was too. And yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that we're going to have to deal with eventually.
Yeah.
Because of that. Although I give her credit, the upstairs looks as close to immaculate as I'll ever see. And it's like, I just hope I could eventually get something that, I don't have to die. I don't have to walk like this. I mean, my rooms are not full to the ceiling with stuff. I don't want to be that way. I know somebody who kind of lives that way, maybe not quite to the ceiling, but it wasn't pretty last time I saw it. But anyway, so.
Well, and there's also this piece for me of like just sort of keeping things current. I mean, in my grandma's house in the basement, because my grandma raised 3 kids during the Depression, right? There were jars of like preserves from the Depression, and this was in 1991. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Those would be collectors.
Alcohol. Brandy now.
Her freezer was packed with stuff, and none of us, I was there with my cousins, my aunts and uncles, and none of us would eat any of it. It was just like, throw it all out. We didn't know if it had been there since the 60s or what,
Yeah.
So.
My aunt Pat, who passed away a few years ago, she had the Royal Tan that I got from her. She was always, because she was a Depression era baby, she was always, of course, hoarding and collecting things. And, she had a liquor cabinet that was stocked very well, not because she was an alcoholic, but because she saw sales, a big bottle of Johnny Walker, she would, on sale, she would get it. When she passed away, her son came up to the Colorado Springs to clear out her stuff. And when we visited him, he was like a little inebriated, and I think he was clearing out the liquor cabinet.
Chug it.
Oh my.
And I think that's part of why I was looking at my typewriters and thinking, like, there's a point where it tipped over from something that gives me joy to something that felt like a burden, having more than I used and really enjoyed, and so that's why I made my vow that I would get rid of 5 of them, which I didn't think was a huge number, and that usually backfires. But I did it. I did it, and I haven't. That's why. So I want to tell you guys a story of the red Royal QDL that I got that wasn't perfect, and here, gonna make it big.
Thank you.
Really get the color. I feel like I need to.
We can almost see the color. There's like a hint of it, but
yeah, it looks
black
from here. Yeah.
It's kind of like a really dark burgundy, and the paint is anyway. So I fixed the things that were glitching, but there was the backspace problem. I have to back up. So I told myself in December I was going to get rid of 5 typewriters. And then almost literally the next day, Tony posted this typewriter and I was like, that's mine. And then I thought, okay, you have to get rid of all these typewriters before you can have that one. I told you guys this part. So I sold 4 of them and then I was going to give one away. And I was having trouble figuring out which one to give away. So then I got this one, had some problems. Backspace was glitchy, asked you guys for help. I followed the linkages and stuff and I looked at Dwayne Jensen videos and I thought maybe it was just from when he cleaned it that maybe some gunk had settled into the linkages. And so I did a flush and a blowout of what I could see at the linkages and stuff. And then the backspace stopped working entirely. So that was depressing.
Problem.
Right. And I did contact Tony and he, after some back and forth, he wasn't very cheerful about me contacting him about it. But after some back and forth, he agreed that maybe we could do like a FaceTime where he could walk me through it. And he said, I have another one like that here that we could look at. And I was like, okay, I have 5 like this. I can look at those if I need to crack the link, see what works. And so then my friend came over that I was giving the Skywriter to that I decided to part with, and she took it away and she was thrilled. And then the next day I sat down at the typewriter and I was testing it to see like where I needed to go next. And the backspace works now.
Wow.
Interesting.
Nice.
Logic might dictate that somehow the blowout just took a minute to
dislodge them.
Yeah, but my magical brain said, you said 5 typewriters until the 5th one was gone. You didn't really get to have this typewriter. And I keep every day I come in, I check the backspace and it's working.
Maybe you had to irritate somebody in order to get the problem to go away.
That was it. Anyway, yeah, it was. So I had to keep my word, and then. So I'm happy having, and it's funny because my focus of my collection is narrower and narrower, which was sort of expanding more and more. And it made me happy. It's like now I have this machine and I have 6 of them. 2 of them are black. One of them's red, one of them's green, one of them's brown. Do I have 6? Oh, and then one of them's what do you call it? The one with the black stripe around it instead of the chrome stripe. Anyway.
If you know something how it works, then it's not magic anymore. So magic is one of those things you have to not know. So that magic's beautiful. I mean, if we knew everything about what was ahead in our life, we wouldn't even want to know because we would have no more magic in our lives. Magic is what makes everything work.
Apparently, keeping your promises to yourself is what makes everything work, or at least backspaces.
if we understood how to reverse the neutron flux, then
there's something to
positive. Bored to death. Then it'd be like watching a show over and over. You're like, okay, I'm done. It was magic.
Watching shows over. Because I forget how they end.
That was Groundhog Day.
But I don't
know.
Oh yeah, it's good to know some stuff.
Also, I just drew a little picture of this typewriter while we were chatting.
Let me zoom in.
Oh, that's nice. That's great. Yeah.
Do you do a lot of sketching like that, Kara?
Good.
I sometimes do. I haven't for a while, but I just found it refilled my favorite pen. I love this pen so much, and it's just a Rotring.
Rotring, yeah. There you go.
But it's I love it, but it's not waterproof, of course. So it's frustrating because I will inevitably lick my thumb while I'm
yeah.
There goes that fun sketch that
yeah.
Flavor in your ink or something.
Yes, I just found it and I thought, oh, here I am. We're chatting. I could sketch a thing.
So, Kara, I saw an advertisement recently for a fountain pen that uses permanent indelible black, like India ink. It's a fountain pen designed to use India ink. I've seen it advertised, and I don't know. That seems like trouble. You're asking for trouble, right?
I know, right?
carbon-based ink that dries like technical pen ink.
Yeah.
Isn't that what they started out with?
I have a bunch of rapidographs, but they just don't have the same flow.
No,
So
they
it
don't.
Like this just makes such a nice
And
line.
you got to have the ultrasonic cleaner to make the rapidographs work, right?
I know.
Yeah.
Here's a, I don't know where it went. There's like a bulb thing. I mean, I've used them since I was a teenager, and there's all these ways of getting them clean, but I've also taken them apart and lost the things and bent the wire, and
Hey, do you remember those letter sets that draftsmen used to use before desktop drafting? It was like a plastic piece with molded letters, and you had this
right.
parallelogram thing, and you used it to trace the letter, and your ink pen would draw on the paper on the vellum. Yeah, those are pretty cool.
I used to think that all architects and all drafters just had really cool handwriting until I found out about that thing. I was like, reason they all write the same.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to go find one of those on eBay,
There you go.
They sold a bunch of different alphabets, typefaces or fonts for those. You could collect those and fill my house up with more junk,
Right.
Small junk though.
I was just typing here a while ago about the fact that I don't have any room for standard typewriters because you have to have a table surface to store them or whatever. And so I go to thrift stores and antique stores, and I sort of vicariously look at standard typewriters for sale, knowing I'll never be able to get them because I don't have any room for them.
That doesn't get them, and then they're usually broken beyond repair, and then they sit around. I have to keep passing them through. For some reason, standards and ultra portables, they come, they go, they come, they go. I always think I should have a standard and an ultra portable, but all I ever want are the portables. So,
well, I have this video I'm going to be making, and it's on my list, and it's the minimal complete collection of typewriters for me.
Oh, nice.
It's 6 categories, 6 machines. It's standard, medium portable, ultra portable, electric typewriter, and electronic and thermal, I guess. So anyways.
Wow. We will look forward to that.
Yeah. What are the 6 typewriters everyone? Yeah, it would be different for everyone. Like I would agree in theory with a lot of that, but my 6 would probably be 6 of these.
Yeah.
if you're collecting Smith Premiers, of course, it's only one category, right?
Yeah, who would that?
Didn't we discuss
II?
5
Actually, it might have been on Facebook that we discussed it, but we were just, I don't know if I talked about it here or not. There's this Ferris wheel that was for something else, but it's a Ferris wheel and it locks into place for each desk that comes around. And so you could have typewriters all around this Ferris wheel and turn it to each typewriter. I thought that was the neatest thing.
I need a Ferris wheel for standard typewriters.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I like that.
What kind of wheel would you need on the outside of that thing to be able to?
I can't remember what it was for.
It would be right next to your desk, and you would turn the wheel so the next typewriter comes in, and then you can turn the typewriter 90 degrees to use it. And then when you're done, you turn it back and then turn the wheel to the next typewriter, right?
And you have different typefaces on each typewriter, and then you can have all these typefaces on your whatever you're writing. And there's something was very old that they actually did that, and somebody posted it on one of the Facebook sites, and I didn't know if we talked about it on here or not, but it was really a neat thing. Is wooden Ferris wheel. No, you know what was somebody recreated, some college recreated this Ferris wheel that was a long time ago that they used for typewriters, and they recreated it. They figured out how to, and that's what the article was I saw on Facebook, because these college.
So it's like a typewriter jukebox or something, right?
That sounds like actually a good name for a
like typewriter
magazine.
jukebox.
Typewriter jukebox. That's a great name for a blog
It's like
name.
the multi-CD disc changers. Remember those and whole
Yeah,
5 or 6.
yeah.
So kind of like
Or-
that for typewriters. Yeah.
Or when you
Oh,
had
I like
CDs
it.
in the
I like
trunk
it.
of your car. Remember those?
Yeah. I didn't have one of those, but some of my friends did.
Hold on, let me pull over. I got to change out the cartridge.
Yeah, I had to do one at a time, gosh.
Yeah.
The The suffering.
So
yeah,
we were at a restaurant. I forget what restaurant it was, but we were like seated away from the bar, looking towards the bar, and the ceilings in this restaurant were like probably 20 feet high, and they have the shelves for all the bottles of alcohol going all the way up to the ceiling, and we're like, how in the world did they get those? So we keep watching them, and it basically the shelves rotate on like a carousel, and they just bring down the shelf that they need and grab whatever drinks they need. And so you could build something like that into your ceiling for typewriters. Yeah.
Nice.
You know, my house has a crawl space underneath, but the access is in the closet, the hall closet. But maybe I can build some kind of a dispenser, a standard typewriter, just magazine, you know, that
there you go.
Just loads the next typewriter up through the crawl space opening.
You can make it like one of those hydraulic TV lifts and stuff and
Oh,
all.
yeah.
Just at your desk, you walk up to it, just slowly comes out. You can add like smoke, so it makes it like, you know, mysteriously coming out and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I could wait for my wife to be out of the house shopping, and I could bring the next typewriter home from the thrift store and load it into the magazine under the house.
Oh man. Well, Joe, with all the time you have on your hands now, you could build like a secret room in your house and yeah, have more typewriters.
Well, you know, we have a guest bedroom, and I'm thinking, shelving for standard typewriters would be really handy, but I have a feeling my wife would not agree on the decor.
Oh, you could tell her this will be our typewriter themed room.
She would argue that every room is already typewriter
themed. Yeah. And she would probably want one room that is not typewriter themed.
Oh, and actually, in all seriousness, though, it's just my office that has typewriters, and I think there's a couple of them in their cases out in our patio room. But that's about it.
Okay. Now, I think it's been a while since you mentioned your wife in one of your videos, because she has her own typewriter, right? Does she still actively use that, or?
She doesn't use it very often, but she has the Olympia SM3, and
okay,
does use it once in a while to type on. So
yeah,
it's hers.
Yeah.
But I probably use it more than she does, at least lately, because I've been doing the, typing samples and all that for the typewriter database. But
yeah, excellent. Very good. I think May's eating. I was going to talk to May, but I think she's eating. Yeah.
I am. Give me a few minutes and I'll be right with you.
Okay. What was that, Karen?
It's lunch.
I just wanted to report that when I popped on, I was playing with this typewriter, and the capital P, the top of it was cut off. And I didn't know why. And now it's working fine. So I think this is just like a self-healing machine. And I think if anybody gets sick, May, I'll type something up for your dad, and I'll just to send healing vibes throughout the world, because obviously it's got a lot of power.
Yeah.
I've got typewriters like that. They just get better and looser the more you type on them. So good advice for all typewriters. Bob says they need to work out every now and then.
Yeah. Yep.
So touching on that whole concept of having a core group of typewriters that you're looking for or whatever, because I see a lot of your guys' videos all the time, and there's always, I have like 300 typewriters and stuff and all. I don't know what to do with. So I'm like, so I'm going to keep mine in a very close knit specific group that I want. So like I wanted to have a script. I have 2 of those. I wanted to have something with a gimmick to it. So I have the Corona 3 folding. I wanted something close to home, also the Corona 3. The other thing I wanted was a thermal. I wanted a daisy wheel, which I have those. And the ultimate, like I guess the holy grail, which is probably not a holy grail, but just what I want eventually, is to get myself a a Commodore typewriter that is the C logo from like the computers, because me being a retro computer enthusiast, I wanted to have that link to take the typewriters to the computers.
I have one of those that came down from Canada.
Yeah, that's my ultimate end goal, is to have one of those. And I think I got everything else I'm looking for.
Because the Commodore, I still have my Commodore 64 and the 128, you know.
Yeah, I have a VIC 20.
Those Commodores are very common up here in Canada, Fred, so that'll be an easy holy grail to fill.
Good, because
I can definitely look for one for you.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to Canada, so.
Plus, you have
And
to
I got
collect all the
enhanced
Commodore's
license.
records as well, you know.
But yeah, that was the other thing. Like the other thing I wanted was 2 typewriters that were the same model but different. And I happen to have the old 1964, was it the beige signature 510, and I have a newer 1968 510, which is blue. So they have different, because the 64 is very early in its run. There's a lot of different features, like you have to pull the platen knob to release it versus hitting a button on it and such. So I have 2 same models that are very different from each other. One's script and one's not. So
excellent. Let's see. Alan was just asking a good question. It was in the chat, but it was privately to me. So I'll go ahead and address it here because it's beneficial, I think. He was asking how he picked someone to be his first type pal. So I suggested that he do the advanced search on type pals. You go to the directory once you're logged in, and it defaults to the search feature, and you can click on advanced search, and then you can search by all sorts of things. You could look in their bio, their interests, what typewriters they're using, and just type in a keyword that maybe a common interest like boxing or something, and then a list of people will come up, and you can pick one of those people to write to. Or I suggested you could just write to someone randomly. When you do go on the directory page, you can actually just on the main directory page, it has new members. So if you want to pick someone that just recently joined, and it's always nice to send them letters because we want to be a welcoming community. Then there's various other interests and stuff on that main page. There's featured members and so on. So yeah, you can just pick one of those and write to someone. Anyone is going to be thrilled to receive a letter out of the blue. So you don't need to like ask their permission. The fact that they're on Type Pals suggests that they're open to receiving letters. So feel free to write to anyone. Yeah, and it's free, so why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Christoph, you're raising your hand.
Yeah, I will leave in a few minutes. I just want to show you something before leaving.
Oh yes, definitely.
My last purchase, I went to Toy Fair. I booked this beautiful car. So I booked another thing. This little box here. I think you can read.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh.
I was selling a case for one of those the other day or yesterday. Yeah. Yeah. I think I saw one of those on eBay.
A little bit too clean, but in good shape. It's a very old toy. I don't know the year, but it's in pretty good condition for 20 euro.
Yeah.
A lot of ink inside, but the toy is in good condition.
Yeah.
I just have to clean it a little bit.
Nice.
In the original box with the Manual here.
Yeah.
So it was a good purchase.
Yeah, that's a nice
And
little find.
I didn't see it just now, but I have search words in on eBay for a case because I'm just said typewriter case, and I get all these other things. I'm looking for a Smith Corona case from the 50s, but for a silent. But yeah, I just saw a simplex. It was just a case for one of those things, and I'm like, oh wow.
Oh, interesting.
So have a nice day. And bye-bye. See you next time.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
So bye-bye.
Au revoir.
Excellent. All right. And it looks like May's done eating. How are you, May?
Yes, I'm doing great. No new typewriters to report. I'm going to make 2023 my year of new platens. So instead of new typewriters,
good
we need to
idea.
save money for some new platens instead. I have plenty of typewriters. We were talking about brothers earlier, and I have 10, different versions of brother typewriters. It's like 1 in 5 of my typewriters is a brother, probably 1 in 5 is a Royal.
Yeah.
And probably 2 in 5 is a Smith Corona, and then the rest are, a couple of Underwood, a couple Olivetti's, some Nakajima electrics, much like the one Joe has, but it's branded by Sears, so it doesn't look quite as cool. But I've just been playing around with writing more too, instead of looking at typewriters and using typewriters. I've kind of developed the perfect way of doing postcards with, take a big sheet of heavy cardstock, not standard cardstock, because I find that's a little too thin for postcards. But I get the heavy duty, extra thick cardstock, and it'll make 4 postcards. And what I like to do is cut it in half, hamburger style. And then I don't know if you can see, I mark the center, so I have 2 postcards, and so that way I can start the postcard when I roll it in. I start the postcard here in the middle, and that way I can type at the very top, so everything can grip. Because these are so stiff, you got to have the paper bell, otherwise you get the ink marks from the type slugs above the line, which is no good if it's not held back. So that way I can start, and then I flip it over and do the next postcard here, and then I end it, and I put the little light pencil marks that I can erase later, so I know when it's going to stop gripping in the typewriter, so I know where to end. And also it's important on the back side too, because the post office puts a little barcode at the bottom, so you're supposed to leave in the postcard standard, you're supposed to leave, and I think it's a 1/2 inch if I'm not mistaken, at the bottom, so they can do their barcode. And so I marked it off so I can type on one side and the address on the other. And so this is my little postcard template that I've been using. In fact, I'm typing one to Joe Van Cleve right now. I've finished. This is for the postcard exchange. I know I'm a little bit behind. I got international.
I promise I'll act surprised.
I've got it blurred out on purpose so you can't read it during Type Club Live. And then I've got another one just going out to a type pal. I find these are great, and I type on the front, as well, instead of a picture. That way you get like a short, letter. It's as much, if you use a Elite typeface, which I have.
That's a great idea, and then it's also cheaper postage than it first comes.
It is cheaper postage. Yep. I mean, it's not much, but it adds up. If you send 50 postcards, it adds up to several dollars.
If you hold it up so we can read it, you won't have to send it.
It's a surprise. It's to one of you. Well, of course, I only send postcards to type pals. I don't send postcards to random people. And other than that, and then I've been Joe's envelope thing got me inspired. I used to make envelopes back in the day, cut up magazines, like you had mentioned in one of your mail times. One of your fans sends you the handmade, and so I took apart a number. I gotta find my stuff here. I take apart a number. I think it's number 9 envelope. The inserts that come to return. They're a little bit smaller than the number 10. And so I just traced around it and made my own little template, which fits perfectly on a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So any 8.5 by 11, standard letter size, and then you just literally cut these little 4 corners out, and bam, and fold it up, and you have. And so I made some scratch paper, and I just made several different envelopes that way.
Oh, wow.
With, paper that I've typed on, or just kind of, I don't know, just practice. This is some worksheet that we're going in the recycle bin at school. I thought, I'll just take and make recycled tape. So I've made several envelopes. So, and I've been looking at the junk journal thing because you kind of got me interested in that, Gregory. So I've watched some junk journal videos, and I said eventually I want to learn how to make one where the pages are removable. So you can type like maybe on a half sheet and then stack them together and fold them into a junk journal, because most of the ones I've seen are, they're sewn in or somehow attached, mainly for scrapbooking and for pasting things on. But I was trying to come up with a way to make the pages removable. And the best way I could think of is to put elastic bands inside the spine where you can slide, the signatures or the group of pages underneath. So I might try that in the future. Yeah, I might try something like that.
We have 2 days left in the month of January, May, so Prong Fest is still ongoing.
Prong
so
Fest.
True.
That's an option also.
But then you mentioned in your video that if you open and close them, eventually they will wear out.
But you get a box of 50 of them, and that's a good reason.
That's true.
It'll last
and
you
they're
a
not
while.
very expensive. Yeah, they're not very expensive at all. No. So and then I've got some Type Pal letters, some return letter to Ted. So and return letter to Bill. So I've been working on correspondence. I still need to catch up. I know there's probably someone online right now like, where is my letter? Huh?
I know a lot.
Sorry, I don't have a good organization, system like Diane. Everything's in a pile. So I kind of need to go through and organize chronologically my incoming mail so I can be fair and answer it in order rather than just randomly.
I stamp the date received on it whenever I get it. Thank you again, Joe.
That's a great idea. Yeah, I've heard that idea and I still haven't done it yet. So from now on, I'm going to Marie Kondo my typewriting correspondence.
Yes, naturally via replies, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody
Please be
know
patient.
Bob Marshall does the platens? Does he recover platens?
He uses the shrink tubing stuff.
Yeah, he did that on one of my typewriters.
Oh, because I saw yesterday on Facebook he had one on a lathe, the platen on a lathe, where he said he loves messing with rubber. And I asked him if he redid platens, and he hadn't answered it last I looked. But
he kind of sands them down a little bit just to take off a little bit of the diameter to make up for the shrink tubing.
Yep.
But I don't know what kind of shrink tubing he uses though, so not sure.
I don't know, but he did my my, I think it was my Skywriter he did, and it works beautifully. So
nice.
Very happy. Yeah, excellent. Let's see here. I think we've spoken to everyone, unless Alan wants to say hello, but no pressure, Alan. Alan's
not
new,
on video.
so correct, yeah.
That shrink tubing is some. It's not rubber. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know what it is. But it's not really rubber.
No, because real rubber wouldn't shrink like that. It's some kind of silicone, compound or something. It's but it does have that tack. And
these days rubber isn't rubber anymore anyway. It's all just forms of chemical plastic. So
I know, right?
Except for tires. Yeah.
He was turning down something that he said works about working with rubber, and it looked like rubber. And so I don't know what he was doing. So I was wondering if he was doing, in fact, maybe he answered by now. I don't know, but I don't see where he did.
Larry, can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Oh, you can't hear me really still? I don't know what happened.
I think you lean back.
We hear you better now.
You lean back and sink into your chair.
Yeah. You're going into sleepy mode.
I don't see where, I don't see where he's answered yet, but I don't know if it was on Bob's page or if it was on Antique Typewriters. but it looked like
Okay.
you down a rubber plat, and this looked, wondering if that's what it was.
Yeah, I think that's just the original rubber that he's taking off a layer so that the shrink tubing will fit on there properly.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking, why would you cut it down? But so you can put something else over it. I got you.
Yeah. Yeah. I know at one point he was talking about the surface being uneven also, and he can like even it out again and that sort of thing. So yeah. I hope he enjoyed his breakfast with Brian Good. I was really sorry to missing Brian this time, but well, and I haven't seen Bob in a long time, and we live in the same city, so I feel bad about that too. Yeah. Let's see. I think unless anybody has any questions or comments, we might wrap up a little bit early. I do need to go see my dad.
I got one thing that
I'm happy with that. Take care.
What was that, Fred?
One more thing I had is the fabric. When I went to get the fabric for this kit stand and all for this desk, I actually came across this fabric here, which has got like letters and envelopes and stuff, but it also has typewriters on it.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's
It's
wonderful.
like I'll get 2 yards of that while I have the chance.
Yeah, there you go.
It's great typewriter
Excellent.
cover. Yeah. I want that.
Very cool.
Gimme.
Hey, Fred, does that have
yes.
Does your secretary, it doesn't have like sliders out there, right, on the side underneath there? Like underneath your fold down.
On this desk here?
Yeah.
No, there's nothing like that. It's just the hinges and the arm that's way the heck up here is the only thing holding it up. So
okay.
So I figured that the kickstand was a good idea. So I got fabric that's nice and soft so it won't scuff it or scratch it. And then just something easy that just pops it right up underneath it, lift it up on it to get the weight off of it, and then it's good to go. So it's pretty solid and stuff. So
I've got one like that, but it's got two little a knob on each side, and wooden slides come out, so it rests on it. But
yeah, I wanted something like this. This is a side by side. It has the bookshelf on the side.
Oh, okay.
I wanted this so that I would have because my father had something like this, and I wanted something to kind of reminiscent of that for my crafting.
That works.
Those are nice.
I'm cutting out. I found some clearanced off paper and all the scrapbooking paper. It's got the like the wood block, the prints for the like newspapers or whatever and all.
Oh, cool! I like that.
I'm cutting them out, turning them into little things I can use for numbers and crafting and stuff. But it kind of looks like I'm cutting them out for what's it called? Kidnapping letters or something like that.
Yeah, ransom letters.
Ransom notes, yeah.
That's funny.
We could do that too with all the typewriters,
Yep.
I've got all sorts of stuff. Like I even have embossing folders that are they're the type heads for the type bars and stuff like that. And it's embossing. So what you can do is you wet the paper down, you put it in there, you run it through to emboss it, and you can trim them out and you can put them in cards and stuff like that as like a 3D letter, but it's an actual like a type head and stuff. So
wow.
That's very cool. Excellent. All right. Well,
another thing we have in common, we all like paper crafting to some
yes, definitely.
It's kind of important. They kind of go hand in hand with typewriters, don't they?
Definitely, yes.
All right. Well, thanks, Gregory, once again for your
course. Yeah, thank you,
your
everybody,
effort in this wonderful community.
Oh. All right. Well, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Yes, all right. Happy typing.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, the finger. Bye-bye.